Darwin, we have Obi in the chat who you guys can now tag. It's just Obi. That is the @ there. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls for everything you do every day. We're going to wait for some more people to roll in here, stroll in here. How are you doing this morning, Obi?
Not too bad, not too bad. Took a trade on Intel.
Nice.
A little bit of a rushed morning, so I was just like, I have like one idea that's like probably the top. Even coming in, I was like, there's a few ideas that I really, really like. Amazon obviously being one of them.
I figured, yeah.
But I was like, all right, well, a little flustered, rushed in. Let's take what I think is the most straightforward one, and that was Intel. So I had a little bit of a piece of Intel. We can talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, no, nothing too crazy. How about you? How's your morning been?
My morning's been good. We've got some people coming in the chat, though. Scott 8, shout out to you. Easy Trader, Hamster 1, Snowman, JF Trader, Be Free, The Piper, got Ronaldo, JJJ, Mr. Jonathan, Day Trader Cut, Pat Picha, Marie L, Christopher Holcomb, Daryl Flinch. We have ND Trade saying Obi, so I guess he's saying hi. NY Cent asking if I'm about to short the world today. I don't know. If we get those moves down 100%, I will. Long Adobe says, damn. Yeah, I put that one in the jet earlier myself, so I feel you there. Benston Burrell saying, let's get this bread. So many people here in that chat. Let's get going. Hope you guys all have a great Friday or Friday night or Fright Day, says Hans Beer. So shout out to you guys. Apple Long, says Sean. Pardon?
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry. I'll slow down on the clapping. But Sean, how was the Apple clapple going?
I just went long 222 again.
Oh, he got long 222 again. That was what was going on there. So great look there for Go Markets. Let's see what is going on. Yeah, before we get, I guess, that lesson started, is there anything other than Intel and the Amazon you're kind of like looking at? Any ideas you're having right now?
Yeah, so I guess just like, I guess Intel was one of my top ideas. Amazon as well. Again, we're talking about gap fills today, right?
Yes.
Now, I do have to apologize, not as obviously prepared and polished as some of the lessons that you guys do normally. But yeah, Sharif came up to me yesterday. He's like, yeah, we're doing gap fills or like topics on gaps this week. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll think of something. And I had just a couple examples today, right?
Yeah.
Examples of certain gaps that have happened in the market. Nothing too crazy. Little some, what's the right word? Light-hearted?
Light learning?
Yeah, just some light learning today. It is a Friday, you know. We're winding down from a crazy week. You can see what the market's been doing all week long. Pretty wild there. Yeah, no. Let us know what you guys have been trading in the morning session. There have been quite some trades. 18.7 down to 18.4s. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
First oh boy of the day, guys.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That's absolutely wild, right? The flushes in this market are coming in real hot there. I know that there's some people talking about tops on semis from a few weeks ago. We are pulling off significantly off of all-time highs on a lot of names. You can see that. You can see it on SMH. The semiconductor ETF is a nice little I guess bellwether or like indicator for the chip sector there, and you can see what it's been doing over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, no, anything you're looking at?
Yeah, I'm trying to short the SPY. If we get below 529, okay, sorry, I clapped. I apologize. I know I was supposed to clap less. But I do like this potential SPY short. It's really playing with my emotions, though. We get to the area where it looks like we're going to drop, then we kind of like toy around here, okay, but now that we're decisively below 529s, I'm going to be getting in 528. Let's do like 95s. Should I get filled? I like this. We're going to hold this. If we get down here, like I said, one of the things I've been watching specifically for the SPY, a little bit with Tesla generally when I short is, or I guess go long, but I feel like I generally take this as a short. When we get those whole dollar levels, what do we do at those whole dollar levels? If we test, retest, and break down, I like the look of that. This SPY break of 529 was a lot meatier than perhaps some of the earlier SPY breaks of 529. We do have, we're going to, in just a second, that we're going to be thanking our friends at PIA, so good to keep an eye on that. But SPY here, I'm watching what we do in the book. But last time we popped to like 529.40. We're not doing that here. We're getting like 529.10s, 529.20s. If I see anything different in the book that I'm not vibing with, I'll get out of this trade. But you got to have that confidence, that confidera, whatever you want to call it. You have to go for things you like. Look at this low of day break. We have these wicks above. We can't hold it. We'll find out how we feel about this, but right now, I'm feeling all right with this SPY short. Nothing's wrong, Anil. I'm just in a good mood. I gotta say that's the vibe here. Kyle Burdett, though, this one is for you, actually, the super chat. So shout out to Kyle for the $10 super chat.
Thanks, Kyle, for the super chat saying, all right, Obi, let's warm up those vocal cords. Say it with me, get down, Quadoon King. Now big smile, Burnett. Yes, sir. The Quadunk was definitely there. This Quadunk was definitely there this morning there, and I'm kind of getting a little bit of FOMO here on this Intel VWAP. This clearly off the open VWAP there were sellers. On the retest VWAP there were sellers. On the second retest VWAP there were sellers. Now Adara, this is looking like starting to look like a little bit of a flat bottom break here in the 2050s. Oh boy. All right, so I guess we're talking a little bit about gaps today, right? So we can start off with the first example, but you have something to go off.
We're going to thank our friends and sponsors here at PIA.com VPN. So trading on public Wi-Fi is risky because your data is vulnerable. It's like sharing secrets in a group chat. Who wants to do that, right? So private internet access, or PIA VPN, what it does is secure your connection with encryption, creating a safe tunnel for your data. Trade confidently from airports, coffee shops, or hotels without worrying about hackers. PIA also lets you bypass geo-restrictions and allow accessing trading platforms from over 91 countries and all 50 U.S. states. Protect your trading with PIA. Yeah, shout out to all the high energy in the chat. Let's keep it going, though. Shout out to Opie with these gap examples that we got going on over here.
Yes, thank you. All right, so we can start off with an example from today, right? And we'll cover other examples as we redo the lesson there. Now I have about 4 examples. Let me know in the chat if there's other like tickers that have gapped significantly, and we can talk about those as well. And I know that I was listening to you guys a little bit over the week, talking about different kind of gaps. Now I don't really, I guess, trade gaps as frequently, but again, when it's significant, I do like to kind of get involved. So let's talk about Intel and how I kind of thought about today's trade process here. So let's go up to a higher time frame and look at where this gap really comes from. Now, gaps, if you guys have been listening over the week, can be caused by a strong catalyst that either comes in overnight or in the pre-market and causes a gap on the daily chart there. So you can see, take a look at that, strong gap. Intel closes yesterday at 28.8, right? Is that the right price? Let me just make sure right here. Low 28.89 is 29.05 is the close from prior day. We open up today at 21.94, so significant gap. Let's measure the percentage right there. So we have gap down into the open about 24%. So it not only are we down 24%, we're also trading on the SSR rule here. So where are we gapping down to? So this is a gap that's breaking multi-year lows. You can see right here, this is a daily chart. Let's go to a weekly chart to kind of get a bigger, better perspective of how far this gap really took us down. So right here, so bigger picture, volume slightly expanding. You can see coming in from 21, 22, 23. There's a slight expansion on how high some of these volume candles are getting. And today being earnings as well, you're getting a strong kind of a push in that volume all week long, starting off the week at 31. And now we're trading 10 points lower down to 21s on Intel. Now look at this right here. What is that prior low? That previous support and resistance, that's what I want to kind of talk about today in terms of how I like to look at gaps. Is like, all right, if something is gapping, can we look left and can we find significant levels, support and resistance levels that we can potentially use as indicators and places to look at price, look at tape, places of price to look at tape and the book to give us confluence for our trade idea, right? So we know that Intel's been selling off quite aggressively. Chips had kind of topped out over the past few months. Intel didn't really get to its all-time highs there. All-time highs being 62.69 that were made in March of 2021. So we attempted to push, couldn't really get there. Not as strong as the rest of the chips. Relative weakness on a bigger picture here on Intel. And then we gapped down below this multi-year low at, let's just measure what that specific low is, and we'll see how price interacted with that 2350s. And then down here, we got 1980s. So honestly, like I was looking for that 1980s to come in. Now we can still go there as of today. If we're going to continue this sell-off, we're still holding underneath VWAP and underneath opening prices. But yeah, we've gapped down, and I'm looking for that continuation. Even though it's on SSR, multi-year low break, I'm looking for signs that are telling me that, okay, well, who is offside here, right? We've gapped down significantly, prices pushing past significant support and resistance levels on a higher time frame, and obviously underneath that 23 level, there are longs that are offside, multi-year longs that are offside. So coming off the open, I'm looking for that bid to get smashed. On an SSR rule, if you're trying to short into the market, you cannot hit the bid. You have to sit on the ask. But if you're long, if you already have inventory, you're more than free to hit the bid. So off the open, it's opening up SSR. I'm like, all right, if I want to see longs offside, I want to see people hitting the bid. It's gapped down significantly, and once size starts getting hit on the bid through the pre-market low, I like that idea, and that's kind of what I did here on that initial entry right here. When it breaks that pre-market low in the 2170s, I post in the 60s to get short on the Intel trade for a continuation to the downside, right? So that kind of, you can see how that level played a part. That 2350s area right here, you can see that on the bid up in the pre-market session, we can't even get past that. We kind of fade off into the open there. 22s, 2170s pre-market lows, and then flush down to the downside. So it's a gap continuation kind of trade, if that's what you want to call it. Now, I know a lot of people like to name things differently. I know if you go on Investopedia and search up gap kind of trading and gap concepts, there's a lot of different kinds of names there. But I just like to confluence anything that's gapping with support and resistance. So that's what I'm looking at here. And that was a great example on Intel today, a continuation. Sure, we didn't get all the way down to 19s to the next level, but we did break that 23 in the pre-market, and we had a bit of continuation to the downside, coming down off of pre-market highs over about 11% on Intel. So that's how I kind of implemented a gap concept in today's trade here, getting short on Intel. VWAP sellers were there in the morning, right off of the open, and even on the initial retest of VWAP in the 2140s, they were also present there. And we got a little bit of a lick grab of day low, so I was like, all right, well, it is SSR. I don't want to get involved, or I don't want to get, I don't want to stay longer than I'm welcomed here. If we're going to lick grab that pre-market low and pop right back in, I might reassess at VWAP or at a prior high. But that's how I kind of use that gap concept today to take this trade here on Intel. And we can cover some more a little bit later. What's going on with you?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for going over that and giving us an in the wild example. We love in the wild examples here on how to trade, and also shout out on your awesome trade. And I love, like I was saying to you off camera, that exit is just gorgeous for that short. So great look on that. I was long the SPY, happy with this trade. Someone in the chat was saying, oh, like, you know, she got lucky because I do usually short, but I didn't want to short because I've been watching the book. This was, I mean, the chart helps too, but I'm not gonna lie. The vast majority of the impetus for this trade was based on what I was seeing in the order book. So I got short here. I actually was happy enough to get out near low of day. I got out at 528.75 on the short because that's where the book was slowing down a bit. Low of day, 528.66. So I knew as low as we could get, right? We were seeing higher lows on the book. We'd get up into like 529.20s. We'd come back down to 528.90s, if that. So I was watching here. I got long 529.10s, and I basically was waiting to see. I was like, okay, if we can hold, if we can still make higher lows, if we don't break below 528.90s, so I'm risking 20 pennies in this, I have no issue with staying in this trade. So we get to 528.91s, we bounce. I was like, okay, Dara, chill, breathe. If we can get back above 529, you got more confluence, 10 pennies out of the money. Let's see if we can keep going. We bounce back up. We get this beautiful move higher. I got out here at 43, so I took 33 cents here on this trade. Could have held it more. We obviously did go higher, and I'm honestly kicking myself a little bit. When I do aggressive journaling, I will be like, Adara, why did you not wait till 80s? Because if you can see here, 80s, these 980s, this is a clear support level earlier, right? On the 5-minute, look at how we held that. So there's no reason for me to be so skittish and get out at 80s. Either way, you know, it was profitable, but you always want to be able to learn from every trade, profitable or not. That being said, I do think we're having some resistance, if not quite at 80s, around that 530 level. And it's also worth noting, A, this topping tail candle, and B, the fact we rejected near the 9 EMA. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on here for the SPY. What else? I actually like Intel, though, which is not one I look at a lot, but, you know, let's see what Patty G and his crew are doing over here at Intel. And the reason I kind of had Intel on watch was, I mean, A, you know, earnings play, right? But also that 2170 level, this was quite the level here. We wicked into it, had that support dropped, right? I mean, we saw that short there earlier. But also with Intel, I was like, if we bounce off the off of VWAP with these higher lows here. We're bouncing off the 90 MA. I don't dislike this as a potential long, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. I also want to shout out Scott H talking about the UVIXY. I had the VIX on watch for myself because we know the VIX was pushing higher. And let's take a look at this here VIX. I mean, it's a volatility index, so to say it's volatile would be really on the nose, but also accurate. Sometimes things are just puns and also true. But we have higher lows here. A lot of wicks. You'd have to give this a lot of room, which is not at all my style when trading, but I do like the fact we have higher lows. There could be a potential dip buy to keep an eye on. Paul Blackford asking me to please look at Nvidia here. So yeah, totally I will. And thank you for saying please. Why not? So NVDA was, okay, I actually love this area in NVIDIA. So I wrote down for myself for NVIDIA 106 and 103. And I wrote that down. I think it's clear on the 15-minute. I'll show you guys what I mean by that. So we had that 106 area NVIDIA, clear top of a range. Then we come to that 103, and we had a little bit of support. So I like that 106, 103, like... but NVIDIA, I'm not going to lie, this is a little bamboozling for me because if we can't make that 106 and break above it, I'm not going to have a lot of confidence that we have that continued strength here. On the 5-minute chart, we're also at a clear level of resistance at this 105.30. So I would say if NVIDIA can keep making higher lows, let's say if we bounce here, we've bounced off VWAP. If we can bounce here off the 90 MA, which is that previous VWAP projection area around that 104.60s, I don't mind that, but I would say we have to break above, decisively break above this 105 area before we can get into that 106 and then higher. So that would be my look on N to the V to the D to the A. What are you looking at? Anything you've got
Nothing
eyes
much.
on over here?
I saw, again, thank you in the chat for pointing out the VIX. Oh boy, I did not even notice this. VIX is at 29. What is going on? This market is getting clubbed in the face here all week. You can see that it's been kind of faded off. A very, very strong, and yeah, you can see that kind of sentiment coming in on the VIX. The VIX hasn't pushed this kind of level in the longest time. Take a look at this, the weekly on the VIX. We are coming into some significant areas here, and yeah, no, talk about a serious beatdown on the markets, and the market's flushing it all the way to 18.4s. It feels like it was just yesterday we were at 20 thou there, and it was like, yeah. Okay. VIX was winding up. I'll give you that. It was pushing up into 16s. I'm like, all right, maybe it's time for things to get a little spicy, and spicy they are definitely getting. Wow, this is absolutely wild. 16. This is the weekly chart on the VIX. 16s all the way to 29s. Holy, I smell a reversion, but I don't know. I don't want to get in front of this market here. But that VIX is definitely getting me a little bit. Mouth-watery, let's say. I think that's a little bit of salivation going on there. I like that. Seeing that volatility coming in the markets there. It's always a fun time. In my opinion, whenever VIX gets above like 20, 25, then party is definitely starting there. And again, party has already started at the beginning of the past couple of weeks as the market's just getting slammed into the bid over and over again after making some highs there. So it's been quite a wild ride over the past couple of weeks there. Yeah, clubbed in the face, saying Anthony K. All right, yeah, it definitely has been all week, all of last week as well. Lots of clubbing going on there across the board. But yeah, no, where will we stop? I have no idea, Dara. Where's this base coming in? I have no idea. The position board, okay, so yeah, the position board is now fixed, and Intel catching a little bit of a bid above VWAP there. So now I'm thinking maybe is the SSR long on? Is this the bottom right here? Double bottom at 2050s. Nice little lick grab. There was some strong volume. I was watching this up in here, and I'm like, oh boy, somebody's slamming the bid with 20,000 shares at a time, back to back on lit gates. I'm like, I like that. Definitely telling me who is not necessarily offside, but who is selling, right? Definitely some people who already are holding inventory just hitting the bid on an SSR name. Now we're getting a little bit of a pop here. Let's see where this pop kind of goes as the market kind of stabilizes on this 18.4. Amazon as well. Oh boy, that 161. When we go over the gaps again in terms of the light lesson that we're doing today, we're going to be covering a little bit of Amazon. If you guys want to take a look at the weekly chart, 161.60s, I think, 161.60s, 161.40s, something like that. is a gap fill on Amazon, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I am looking across the board here. What is the next trade is what I'm asking myself. Spider is continuing to fade. The VIX is definitely a good instrument to be watching right now, in my opinion. We are accelerating to the upside here. This is a 3-minute chart on the VIX, and oh boy, we have moved from a low of 20s in the morning, and right now it is at 29.30s. That's absolutely wild there. So some instruments that we can potentially be looking at again are VXX. You know, there's UVXY as well, but some interesting instruments if you do want to trade the volatility that's been or the volatility expansion or whatever that's happening today in these markets. I'm looking for the next trade. This 165 on Amazon looking a little spicy, looking a little interesting as well. Let us know in the chat what you guys are trading. Asta saying Tesla is giving you a ticket to the ball. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla. See if it gets you there in time to the ball, or does the pumpkin kind of does your carriage turn back into a pumpkin there on Tesla? Let's take a quick look at this one. All right, so a little bit of a sell-off coming in here, 207s. I do want to look left. Let's get some of these lines out of the way there. I don't necessarily want to look at some of the technicals before I do see some of the bigger picture on the chart. Let's take a look at a 15-minute, see what Tesla's been up to. We've been trending down after this push off to 270s. Remember when we had that bet about Apple and Tesla?
Yeah, you and I were in Tesla, and everyone else was in Apple.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, with the kind of volatility that Tesla has the ability to get through that 200 within the day, within a couple of days, within a week. And sure, Apple got to 200 first, but Tesla got to 200 and then it just blasted off into 270. And we were just like, all right, cool. The volatility on Tesla has been showing itself, but now we're taking a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a comeback down into that 200 area. We're breaking back below some of these earnings day 1, day 2 levels here on Tesla underneath that 210 level, and we're taking a little bit of a pullback confluence with this market tailwind.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Tesla needs its own VIX. I would love that if Tesla had its own VIX. Like, I think that would be wild. Like, ticks, I don't know. But what I do know is we want to thank Benzinga Pro. Are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Now, Benzinga Pro, that's your unfair advantage. You can get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial. Shout out to our pal from Benzinga Pro, Ryan Faluna. He called Apple Big Mama when it comes to earnings, and I think Big Mama certainly did give you some stuff to talk about. I also want to talk about my trade on the VIX. So I did go long the VIX here. I said I was interested in the fact that we were making these higher lows and we were bouncing off the 90 MA. But as I said, my biggest qualm here, sometimes I have qualms. I usually like to be qualmless, but sometimes there are qualms. My qualm for this was going to be I would have to risk more. So I decided what I was going to do is I would have a mid-sized position to start, enough that would allow me to piece in and out, but nothing too big. And I was going to get involved at 50s because I noticed we kept bouncing at 50s. I was willing to risk into about 62s because that is where we had that last wick, right? So that was basically the plan for this trade, risking about 50 cents. The plan was to make, add it, get out part of it at 63, so 50 pennies in the money, and then add. We didn't get that opportunity to add because we get to 63s. I got out 2/3 of the position, and then we just kind of kept staying strong. So Dara, chill in this trade, ended up taking $1.10 with the remaining third of my position. So VXX there, VXX marks the spot, I guess, for me. SPY, actually, SPY, you want a range? Like, hey, girl, you want a range? Look at this. It's obviously mostly on a wick basis, but the SPY has been, giving you opportunities. Low of day, last time I checked, was 528.66. Now it's 528.60. So the SPY, there is some kind of support here just above that 528.50 level. And I said I witnessed it in the book as well. We do have lower highs here, as Obi kind of said. The SPY is getting faded a bit. But what I think is if I would probably play this as a short because we do have all these topping tail candles and they're getting shorter and we're below the 90 MA and it's that previous area of support. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I'm seeing a bit of confluence here for a potential short at least into 529s. I'm going to take a smaller position on this because I feel less excited about it than I did that initial, long or short here, but I want to get involved around 529.60s. If I can't get that, that's fine. I'm not chasing. I'm going to wait and see what the SPY gives me. Oh my, Meta paying me from 478 says chill vibes. Meta, I can't believe Meta was at 478. Meta's been a monster. Like, Meta's been doing its own thing, 21 over here. M to the E, to the T, to the A over here. Down about just over 2%, but not, 478, you say, Chill Vibes. I mean, shout out to you. You basically got low of days here. Low of day, actually, 476.15. So close to low of days. You are almost $10 in the money. Great look here for META. And we're coming into an interesting level in Meta, too, because look at that support we had in the pre-market. Look where we had these wicks in it earlier. Now we're hanging out around VWAP. Maybe it's confluence. Let's wait and see what happens here on M to the E, to the T, to the A. See what kind of verdicts we have for those trades. Oh, that was beak witter. I meant to press not that button, but we'll wait. But yeah, we can wait and see if there's any beak witters here in these markets. I don't think I'm going to get my SPY order. I'm going to cancel that until I see a better opportunity. What else am I looking? I'm looking at CrowdStrike too. I like this because I don't want to say range, but there's a clear base here at 211.30s, and this one has been giving you some opportunities quite a bit. The other level I like on this is around 213.50s. We had a little bit of support, then rejection. Let's wait and see here what we do on CrowdStrike. Is there anything that's striking you as particularly interesting still as Amazon?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at this Amazon, man, and I'm like, yeah. Again, we'll talk about why I liked this 160, 161 area for a potential decision to be made. And decisions were definitely made in that area as we've bid up over 5 points now, coming right back in on the Amazon. What's the opening price on this ticker? 166.75. Okay, we just broke back through open. Actually, no, 166. Sorry, we're a point away. Relax. All right, I'm getting too excited here. I'm like, all right, cool. But back through open is not there just yet. 166.70. We're about a point away from that level. 165 is coming right back in. And I saw Asta in the chat saying, yeah, Amazon long is a no-brainer. Oh boy, definitely getting some FOMO there as that 160 level was definitely interesting. And the market is holding that 18.4 area here on the DAC. And Amazon is catching quite a little bit of a bid here back through VWAP right here. VWAP was at 163.86. But something else I do want to know is where is the anchored VWAP sitting? So let's take a quick look at that. Let me just pull up my tool here. Where's the anchored VWAP? There you are. Okay, boom. So that is the anchored VWAP from earnings. And there's some prior anchored VWAPs as well, which was interesting. Earnings reaction actually rejected prior earnings anchored off of that earnings reaction in the high 180s, 186s right here. You can see 186.33. I have another one at 185, so we wicked that. So a lot of the I guess long volume or long inventory we're trading below the average price of that since prior earnings is how I'm kind of interpreting that information. And yeah, we got a strong flush off of the open there into that 160.55. But yeah, nice little strong bid. But guess what? We have not only broken past intraday VWAP, we're also attempting to push into that earnings anchored from last night. So right here, that earnings anchored I have on my chart sitting at 165.90. We're trading at 166.23, so just slightly a little bit above, but you can see pre-market consolidation right here, or early consolidation lows at 167 coming into the open. That little low right here, 165.50s, that high sitting at 168.13. So some interesting levels there. That little high confluencing with this prior kind of base that we made in the morning rejects that. So a little stair step down on the Amazon. Talk about a gap down, and that gap is definitely gave us a little bit of a give, and now it's going on that gap down on Amazon. Definitely a little bit of a mistrade on my part. But what is the next trade? That is what I'm asking, and I see that Chill Vibes a couple of times has pointed out in the chat. Meta, oh boy, Meta. Again, talking about gaps. Meta gapped up pretty strong past that 500 mark on off of its earnings. Today is earnings day 2. Look at all these lines that I have on my chart. Looking a little messy. Let me just take a lot of that off right now. And yeah, 500. Oh boy. 500 reject right off of the open. Failure to follow through on Meta. Not only that, that after hours consolidation can't get past 500. And then right off of the open, the first 15-minute candle wicks 500 by, what is that? By 1 point and 13 cents. So 1 point on a $500 ticker. I like that. Nice little wick action, and slams down over 20 points almost 25. So slams down almost a quarter below that 500 down to 476s and change here on Meta. So solid, nice little action, little shake and bake action there off of that 500, but we are bidding back up as of right now. Look at that nice little consolidation coming in, earnings eve, and then we blast through that, and that's where we're kind of bouncing. Talk about a support and resistance coming back into play on Meta platforms here. Definitely a little bit of a platform on top of that 475, 476 area from before, and I'm getting an alert here on the Amazon multi-month low, 166.45. Oh yes, I know, but we are coming at it from the underside. So that is definitely interesting. Back through open, coming in right here, 166.75s. Amazon is trading against that opening price as of right now. Should be interesting. I'm going to be watching the tape here at this level. Let's see what we have in store on the market today. A little bit of a multi-time frame level at 167 as well. So stack confluence for a potential resistance here in and around some of these areas where it kind of struggled in the pre-market session and after our sessions to bid above this point. Slam down. How were their earnings? They were all right. Not too bad. 21% EP on their earnings and 0.46 of a miss on their revenue there. I don't really look at fundamentals as closely as maybe I should, but again, I was kind of listening into Michael Noss, and he was saying like he doesn't necessarily look at the fundamentals as closely. He's more of a technical analyst. He's a chartiste.
Chartiste.
Yeah. So he's very So I definitely like that look. I definitely lean in that direction a lot more. Again, everything I do feel that everything, most of the things we need to know are on the chart and on the tape there, and everything else is a little bit maybe priced in or market will do what the market does. I'm just trying to react to some of the price action and trade around that, and that's kind of my focus here. We're coming back into that 168, 167 there, but yeah. So what was I going to be? What was I looking at again? Meta, right? Meta. We were looking at Meta. No, there was another name. Amazon, Nvidia, right? Nvidia. So let's take a quick look at Nvidia. I tried that long idea, man, and we talked about another gap off of this. A bit of a give there off of the open. And then continuation off of prior day levels, 116.60s was pretty significant as well. I was looking for that continuation yesterday. Oh boy, did that continuation not come in, and I didn't necessarily have the short. So I got to do a little bit better with kind of working on my short side playlist. A bigger picture trend to the downside is what's been holding here on Nvidia. Take a look at a higher time frame on the hourly, and you can see all-time highs at that 144. And we attempt to push, can't really make it there. And look, we off of some of these lower highs, we're making a little bit of a downtrend here. Now, something else I do want to note, and I've been mentioning this over the past couple of months, whenever I've been on Nvidia, you can see that earnings was pretty strong, and we pushed that pre-split, right? Pre-split. Earnings anchored right here. This blue line has been holding every time price extends off of that earnings anchored, extends very significantly off that earnings anchored, and it comes back in. We've been catching a bid every time. Now you can see here, mid-July, we start getting weak off of that earnings anchored, right? And now there's sentiment changes in the market. There's other things going on. There's things going on with like rates and stuff, and the move maybe getting a little bit exhaustive off of the move that we've been having here on the higher time frame. You can see where we've been coming up from over the past year. Since 2024, in January, you can see that strong bid. We've only been catching a strong bid, and then finally we're catching a little bit of relief here. So bigger picture, Nvidia looking perfectly fine. And once we start kind of holding below that earnings anchored, you can see the weakness kind of start to really come in. You can see the volatility we've been having over the past week or so. Last couple of weeks of July, pretty nasty there. We had a strong sell-off day. People were like, oh, we haven't seen minus 2.5% on the DAC in the longest time. But we got a minus 3% day yesterday. So, volatility is definitely up there. There goes 18 halves on the DAC. We are pushing a little bit higher there. Are you still long that Amazon? Oh boy. I'm telling you, I'm getting FOMO, man. That was literally that was my second top idea, and I don't have a single fill on the Amazon. What am I doing? It's okay. What's the next trade, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, I was like so ready. I mean, again, a way I think it's good it didn't work out. I asked in the chat if anyone happens to know like an inverse VIX, because I tried to take the VIX short. I had that VIX long. VIX long worked. Good times, chill, whatever. Then I was like, hey, let's see what we do here. I don't know why I'm British. 62.50s. That was that area I like to support, right? I said if we break below that, you want to take the short. Then we break below. I was like ready to take the short. I waited. We break below. I'm like, let's see if we retest the 62. We pop above 62. It's really, really muted. I'm like, oh, yay, good times. I don't have shorts on it. So that's all good. Where's the next trade? As Obi says, I do want to echo that. Also, you want to know what my favorite part of the Amazon earnings call was? Is when they said that their guidance was weak because of the Olympics and the Trump assassination attempt. Because they were like, people are thinking about other things. And I was like, but your quarter is 3 months long, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like the Olympics are a few weeks, and that assassination attempt happened in like half an hour. So yeah, I just thought that was it's one of the more interesting pieces of guidance I have heard. Nvidia. Newly minted shorts get scared over 18,633, says Dan Emmons. Yeah, this is an interesting look here for the Qs. Yeah, so I'm looking, thank you for letting me know here, GoTix Rex, about these VIX ETFs. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on those. Also, thoughts on the uptick of RKT, says Tilsterville. Let's take a look at this. I don't know. I think, did they report this? Sounds very familiar to me, this RKT. Maybe they're in the NY. Let's get some deets on this guy. Rocket Companies. Okay, they're in the NY. Okay, so great look here. They did have their earnings. They beat EPS and revenue, and apparently they have the investor day coming out in September. So let's find out here for RKT. Volume not bad either, just under 4 million shares. So good look here for RKT. Oh, they got my first pushback of the day. Look at the support here on VWAP. This 16.2 area. We get a couple tries, make a higher low, come right back down. Higher high. Then we come back and we bounce beautifully on VWAP. Great look here for RKT. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the daily chart here for this guy, because this is not one that I think I've ever looked at, but really nice look here. Clearly, market reacting positively to its earnings. Oh. I will say the fact that we bounced here at 1480, which was to me a pretty clear previous level of resistance. I like this look for RKT. Not advice, just my take on the chart. I think it's a pretty nice chart. Shout out to Pimpy Long Stalking. I love the double pun and double entendre in your name. We love puns and double entendres on this desk. 199 super chat, thank you. Sava is up 150% since the drama sell-off. Yeah, I think you mentioned this one a couple days ago as well, Pimpy, because I think this Sava has certainly been an interesting look there. Oh my gosh, the SPY is already up to 531. Wow, I'm just looking at these side charts and like, go market. But Sava, yeah, I mean, 1.6 million in volume. I feel like this is a name that, I said this, I think last time we looked at this name I feel like we only look at when it has drams, but the chart, other than the drama days, is not bad. And I mean, wow, Sava. Clearing, I think last time I was like, look at this previous support resistance level around 22s. So I was like, what's 22? I don't care. Now we're above 24s. I think this is a nice look here for Sava. I'm kind of curious to see what we do at 25.50s, because resistance level that we had here going back on a closing basis, sorry, my contacts are doing things, February 10th. Then we wick up into it, reject it February 28th. Also wick rejection back to November 7th. I feel like an old lady. I have to lean in so far to see these charts. But really good look here for SAVA. Tesla coming down to 210, so that's giving me some ideas. Let's take a look at Sava intraday, though, because that was just on the daily look. Bloop, bloop. Okay, buy chart. But yeah, we're just going to take a look at Sava, and then we're going to thank our pals at Stonks. We're going to look at Sava here quickly. Okay, not you, crowd. Sava up 2.5%, like you said, on the day here. This is beautiful. Great look intraday here. Crazy bounce. Look at these bottoming tail candles at 21, which was without a doubt doing something for Sava. But you know what else could do something for you? Is like, for example, if you wanna bet, you wanna get involved in some stocks. What about Stonks?
Yeah, no. Again, want a chance to win $1,000 every day? Stonks.com is your answer. They are giving out $1,000 daily, and entering is super easy. Predict the stock price after earnings reports. Today, we're looking at Meta. I guess all it takes is 30 seconds to join. Just go to stonks.com and sign up and hit the make prediction button and potentially win $1,000. Now, again, sorry, we're not looking at Meta today, but again, we had earnings for next week, right? Earnings next week start up again, so you can do that then.
Tonight, AMC.
AMC tonight. So yeah, make your predictions on AMC and potentially win $1,000. It's that simple. Each day you get one free ticket to predict. It is the middle of earnings season, guys. You're going to get a lot of chances. Want more chances? Share your referral link and get 5 extra tickets for each sign up. Go to stonks.com. That is STONKS.com. Don't miss out and good luck. Let's see those predictions, guys. $1,000 up for grabs. Not a bad deal there.
Yeah, it's an awesome. You did a great job with that ad read. Thank you so much to Obi for that. Also, before I pass it back to you, I just realized I totally forgot to talk about my SPY trades because I took some L's on the SPY. And the thing is, too, I have no. Okay, this trade I just got involved in now, I'm okay with. We're trying to bounce off 531. I'm gonna chill with that. This is. Did I not get involved in the SPY? Oh, I'm not even involved. I canceled my order. Okay, good times. Didn't realize I did that. But the SPY here, I had, like I said, I had 2 positive trades in this one. Then I took 2 negative trades. This short at 529s, I wanted 529.60s. Why am I FOMOing a 529 short? I saw the breakdown, sure, but like, whatever. A little bit disappointed at myself for that. And then I'm like, oh, well, now we're bouncing. Like, we get to like 530s almost, and we come back, and we held beautifully support to resistance 529.70s on the book. Like, let's go long. A little bit disappointed in myself, like I said. This ended up, and in both cases, the bigger issue was not the trade. You can be wrong. As Neil says, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. I was stubborn as a Capricorn, which is the sign that I am. I was very stubborn here today. I was like, grr. And this 531 long would have worked out. So, Dara, why are you canceling the order? Gonna have to take a moment and breathe. I've talked about this a lot in the past, but I feel like I'm in tune with music, and sometimes I'll randomly have songs in my head, and I find they're in some way applicable to the market. This morning, I randomly had Self-Control by Frank Ocean in my head. I should be exercising some more self-control over here, but hopefully this market can keep a place for me, because I do shout out to that song that I don't know if anyone knows, because I want to be able to get involved. Looking at my Tesla book, which I have been neglecting a little bit today, sorry about that, Tesla, don't worry though, I got eyes on you. Looking at the SPY as we get back to 531, I want some opportunities. I'm ready to get some bread. What are you looking at?
Nice. Yeah, no, Nvidia blasting through its highs. This market is taking a little bit of a turn. I'm seeing the VIX pull back a little significantly. Let's see if that'll come in. I'm looking for a potential continuation of yesterday, but maybe we won't. I was looking for the reversion yesterday, or a continuation of that strong trend from prior day. We did not get that. We wiped that back down. But Nvidia, oh boy, we are breaking past that opening range high, 107 halves-ish area. As of right now, 108's coming in, and you can see the DAC pushing up into 18.6s there. A little bit of a bid catching on the ES as well. But yeah, no, Chill Vibe saying, yo, Nvidia about to head green. Yo, Nvidia's pushing green right now. And another trade that I kind of been watching as well was AMD yesterday. Talk about another kind of a gap movement. AMD, I was mentioning this to some of the guys on the floor yesterday. AMD broke yearly open yesterday. Year open was at 133. Was it 133 or 137? I gotta look back. I don't remember specifically, but we broke back through year open on AMD yesterday with that strong selling, and oh boy, did we continue to the downside. Pre-market lows from today, 129.60s. We're catching a little bit of a bid, maybe some reversion, maybe some relief of the strong selling that we got yesterday. It is the end of the week. Are we going to end the week off with a little bit of a bottom wick on the week? I have no idea, but that strong selling came in right off of the open, and the VIX is past that 25 mark, so I like that. 27, 28s. Coming in as of right now. Godik saying SHIB is crashing. Okay, oh boy, all right. We've got to check on some of those crypto names as well. The Doge. I haven't checked my Doge in the longest time, but I don't know how.
Well, you
that's
say
doing.
my Doge, so you're like in Doge and you haven't checked it.
I have a little bit of Doge, and it's been just haven't had to really check it for a very long time.
Oh, you just let the dog hang out in the backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I let it ride and do its thing. I don't know. For me, that's a little bit of a hodl for sure. Doge is a hodl for me. I have some decent prices in and around. I think 7 pennies is my average.
Nice.
I think it went back down there. It's fluctuated quite heavily, but let's take a look at Doge USD. It's probably in and around there. Again, I'm in it for the bigger picture. 11 pennies. All right, we're still a little bit in the money, but oh boy, were we a lot more in the money in the past. But it is what it is. It's not about It's not about taking profits. It's about the hodl on this ticker here. As Nvidia pushes through some more of its highs there. You know what's interesting? Apple is consolidating quite interestingly.
It is.
So strong leg. Okay, hello. Yeah, we're back into these levels. Eh? All right. I see you. I see you. See, so I got to go back and look at some of my technicals every now and then. We were talking about a flag. Look at this multi-day flag that, or is this called a pennant or flag? I'm not good with chart patterns, but again, I understand what a potential break of this channel could bring in. And oh boy, did it bring in some extension. But we're coming right back into the core of that channel here. And look at that, some support catching as of today in the pre-market. After hours as well, off of earnings. Again, Apple earnings day one, right? Earnings day one happening right now. And we're catching a nice little bit off of that 215 level prior, I would say, prior support, right? Even though it's not horizontal support and resistance, we're back in the channel, and the channel has held in the past earlier on this year. And we're kind of coming back into those support areas and holding quite well. A little bit of a double bottom happening off of earnings reaction in the after hours and in the pre-market today off of this 214 level on the Apple. Is this the bottom? I don't know. Peculiar price action indeed. I do like that. Nice little consolidation, a little bit of I guess another pennant or flag. Again, I'm absolutely horrible with chart patterns, but price compression is what I'm seeing here as we build up, holding in the upper quartile of the move that we've had since this hold of this 214s trading at 222s right here on Apple today. Let me know what you guys are trading in the chat. I'm curious to know what the opportunities being captured by some of you guys in the chat are today. I know people were talking about Tesla, people talking about Nvidia. We've looked at those, but is there something we have not looked at that you guys are trading, you guys are watching today as this volatility? Oh boy, we are pushing quite high. We haven't had these levels on the VIX since about, let's see, let's take a quick look left and see. All right, March of 2023, we were up in the 30s on the VIX, and we're back there now, almost, what is that? I'm bad with the math as well, so let me just take a look at the monthly chart here. About, 16 bars, so about 16 months ago, roughly, give or take, we were up here in terms of the volatility index for the S&P 500 and the S&P 500. The ES here trading at 5,300 as of right now. We're talking about oil. I haven't really checked on oil. Let's take a quick look at crude here. That is not that's Colgate. CL Oil Futures is what I want to look at.
Who knows if Colgate could be oil?
Yeah, I mean, is it a petroleum product?
It is not.
I have no idea. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know.
It's actually pretty
I know the plastic, the encasing is definitely made out of plastics there. So, all right, so oil, a little bit of a sideways consolidation over the past couple of years here. But as of recent, for the past few weeks, been trending down to the lower end of that price compression here on the oil. I don't really trade these commodities, but we can take a look at XOM and CVX and some of those other oil names that do lead some of those sectors there. And XOM kind of trading here, nothing too crazy on the daily. Let's see on the 15 minute to see what it's been up to as of today. So nice little shake and bake. We made a little bit of a low at the 15s, and now again, XOM earnings day one today, right? So definitely on watch. I can understand why you guys are looking at it and trading it. Strong push right off of the open here into that 119 area, pulls all the way right back in right here. 115s on the chart, 115.35s or 115.55s lows here on the day, and we're taking a little bit of a bounce off of that level as of right now. Continuing to watch Intel, VIX taking a little bit of a pullback, 2666s. AVGO saying Bob. Let's take a quick look at AVGO, Avgo, Broadcom. What you've been up to? I know you've had a split recently, and much more comfortable prices to trade at, I would say.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, 139 is a little bit of a range action that was happening, and we've attempted to break through some of the highs through that range. 145s topping out right now. A little bit of confluence with pre-market consolidation highs as well on Broadcom. Should be interesting. Let's see if we take a little bit of a pullback. Maybe a potential reversion trade is setting up. How much RVol is this doing? This is doing 1.68, so it was doing some significant relative volume in the pre-market, and it is holding as of right now above this opening range-ish, 30-minute range high. As of right now, some pre-market levels as well. So I might be a little bit more patient on that one. But it seems like I am looking for a trade on Intel right now. What's going on, Darren?
Yeah, just to put the L in TSLA, tried to take a long here at 210.50s. I stand by the general impetus of this trade, but like, girl. Okay, so I got long 210.69s because we were kind of trying to push back into that 211 area. I said get a part of the position just shy of 211s. I also liked how we were about to get 210.50. So it's like a Dara. If we break below 210.50 decisively on the book, you skedaddle. It's chill. Ugh, whatever, right? So I'm whiffling, and now it wants to give me the move. Okay, thanks Tesla. But basically, we were whiffling, we were waffling. We couldn't get back into 80s. I should have just taken 10 pennies there and realized this wasn't going to happen. But I was like, I don't have like a decisive reason to leave yet. We were still holding that 210.70s really well as support. So it ended up being a little bit of a chop, a little bit of a churn. I got chopped up and I left this TSLA here. Apologies guys, I haven't been in a lot of trades today. I definitely want to be taking opportunities that I feel really, really good about. But, like sometimes you're a little bit more tired, like you nap on your kitchen floor. Your perspective on the market is a little bit different. You have to take time to make sure you're doing well on these opportunities. But right now, though, Tesla, I said I like that 210.50, right? I like that as support. It can be resistance too, okay? Like, I don't mind. And now it looks like it is. I want to see what we do here at 210s. If we break below 210s, that could be a skosh spicy for me here. I like that look. What else is going on? Hood thoughts. Earnings coming up, says Empower Pixels. Hood reports next week. So let's see what's under the hood in Robinhood. Oh, Hood going SSR. Okay, let's take a look here at Robinhood. Oh, yeah, Robinhood getting a little bit foxy here, trying to bounce, reference to the Disney Robin Hood movie, trying to bounce here at this 9 EMA, which also is confluence with that previous level, to 1820s. So interesting look there, but we do have some topping tail candles coming in here. And interestingly enough, the topping tail candles come into that previous area of support at 1830. This is about a 10-cent area of chop and churn. So let's find out what's going on here. We do have some higher lows there here for Robinhood, but let's take a look at the daily chart because we've got earnings coming up. So let's find out what happens here. So, come on, Robinhood. Oh, okay. Well, I will admit, this big old candle on the downside we had in the daily chart does kind of muddy any analysis, but one level I think if we recover, we come back up to, and I'm not just saying it because I always say it, but 21. Look at the 21s here in Robinhood. We wick above, come back down. Gorgeous, beautiful support around this 1650 area, which was also support previously. And it was supported the 9 EMA. Confluence, I like it. But then we also have another, attempt to break above this high here at 21s. So I think this 21 area, should we come back to it in Robinhood, could be a skosh spicy for Hood. Tesla. Tesla is coming back up here. T to the S, the L to the A, back to that 210.50 level. Let's see what we do here. Like I said, I like this level. Now we're forming a topping tail candle. If I get back involved, I'll probably take a skosh fewer shares, and I will also trust myself because, as I said yesterday, I'm starting to see the markets as, a jazz ensemble performance. You want to make sure you've got your general time signature and key signature, but if the beat changes, somebody tries to, do a little bit of improvisation, they start scatting, they're like, boop, boop, boop. You got to be ready to work with them in these markets, in these trades. So that's what I want to do here in TSLA. This 210.50 is definitely interesting on the book. I need to figure out how it resolves. Also, CrowdStrike, which I have still been looking at. I would like to strike this potentially as a long if we come into that 214.50. Why? VWAP. Look at this beautiful candle. It's also in confluence with the 9 EMA. So that's the look I like over here. Let's find out what's going on. Also, VIX, and you find out how to short you because you're coming back to reject, going back to VWAP. What else? Yeah, there's just so much here to look at on these markets. SPY rejecting VWAP as well. As Sharif always says, and I agree, these charts are not always going to necessarily play a huge role when you're looking at the ETFs or the markets of the ETFs. But this is interesting to me. We wicked down here into that 531, which was massive resistance earlier, and we're at VWAP. We had this failed wick into that 532.50s. I don't mind this look. Let's find out what happens here. Kazra saying short Tesla down to 203.70 and tagging me. Tesla broke 210s. So if we come back to 210s and reject, 210s could be my area of entry here. But I see you have entered a trade on the Intel.
Yes. So taking a little bit of a shot here. again, we are above VWAP, but we're pulling back a little bit here, looking for that selling to kind of come back in potentially with the market kind of pulling back off of that 18.6 as well. But again, the name is on SSR. Might not be the easiest thing to short today, but just looking for a trend continuation. We kind of attempted to push back in to some of these pre-market levels here, but you can see right off the open, selling was quite strong in this area. So I'm just looking for that potential selling to come back in. Just a little bit of a feeler here, nowhere near what I had earlier here. But again, I was talking to Sean about this. I was like, yeah, I got to have so much more on this trade. This was my number one idea. A little bit of I guess high B plus A kind of trade for me. I definitely have to be sizing and executing a little bit more effectively on this trade, especially with that initial entry here that I got right off of the open for that pre-market low breakdown on Intel, and we can see that it's been kind of it was selling off now. Sure, we kind of lick grabbed the lows and we're trending up, so I'm kind of reverting. Take a look at that. Oh boy, there are 1,500 lots on the ask on Intel, 21 halves. Hello. All right, let's see what you do. See what you do. It's got strong sellers here at that 21 half, 1.5K lots. If you guys can see, if it'll come right back up. I can pull this up right there. There's Buddy sitting on the ARCA book right there at that 2150 level. Let's see if Buddy gets taken out of that, maybe signifying some buying demand on the ticker there. But that is a decent chunk of size. Again, lots of big orders going through. Some of them on lit gates. Here, I'll show you an example. We talk about filtering the tape. Now, this tape is filtered to 10,000 shares. So you can see lit gate. That's a BATS gate right there. What is that? Somebody punched on the ask 200,000 shares on the BATS gate at 2150. So interesting stuff, interesting information. What am I going to do with that? I don't know just yet. But let's see. Somebody hit the ask for 200,000 shares at 2150. So that's kind of having me a little bit concerned for this short. But again, that size is still kind of sitting in and around that area, and it's gone. So, Buddy got taken out. We're trading a little bit above that. And look at that stack reclaim. Do we have a refresher? Got a multi-gate stack. You can see that some on the NASDAQ book, some on what's that? Is that one of the Edge books? Edge X's, okay, got taken out again. So that stack getting taken out again. So maybe the SSR is happening right here on Intel as of right now. And oh my God. Amazon is back at 168. Oh boy, what a bounce off of that 161. Gap fill down to multi-year lows? I don't know, I got to check my alert again, but it kept on popping off when it was like 160 60s, 160 50s there. And look at that base, that nice little support. Flat bottom, failure to break through that flat bottom, and then we just ripped to the upside alongside the market there. 18 sixes now pushing here on the DAC, and the ES is pushing up towards that 5380 mark as of right now. FOMO big time on my side, says Adrian. Yeah, man, this Amazon breakout. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that Amazon long off that 160 level, that was definitely a trade that I missed. I got to do better with getting involved with all of my playbook and top ideas on the day here. Intel, sure, nice. It was nice. It was the top idea on the day. Did get involved. I think I had much less size than I really should have on this trade. I think this was the point to really kind of hammer into it when it showed you that VWAP sellers are definitely on the board when it comes to how this ticker is acting. Again, SSR ticker, bids getting smashed, potentially longs doing the selling there. There's a little bit of a stack there. EdgeX book, my books are duplicated here, so that's the same kind of gate. But now look at that stack, multiple stacks, size showing up there on the bid at 45s. So look at it, interesting. How are you doing there, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, make sure to smash the bid and the ask, and also hit the like and the subscribe button. And don't nap on kitchen floors. But yeah,
those ideas were cooking last night, is what you're saying.
That was good. Yeah, but yeah, I guess I was just like, oh, here's a place to fall asleep. But TSLA, I was sleeping on this short. It's another example where it's like Adara, wait for your levels, breathe, don't get involved. 210, I took the short at 210 because we came below, we rejected it, I was like, cool, right? Then we kind of popped up in the 90 MA. I knew I should have gotten out of this when we came back to my level. I should have gotten out break even, but I was like, but Adara, like, what if it goes lower? I'm like, don't be stubborn, Adara. Don't be stubborn. So it's fine. I got out when we got above that 210.50. I did follow my plan. I can't say I didn't follow my plan, but also, as I've said, part of my trading plan lately has involved, you know, getting out when I see stuff I don't like in the book. So what am I doing here? That being said, Tesla, keeps rejecting 211, but it also keeps rejecting 210.50. I tried to take that 210.50 short, couldn't get in. Now rejecting 210.20s. Tesla, you know, I have plans for you. I do have plans for you. And those plans are okay, we're not going to get it. I was going to say 210.20s, then you get 210s. You kind of build into a short position. Tesla's like, I don't really care. I'm going to break down to 210s. Is that cool? And I'm like, yeah, Tesla, I'm not going to argue with you. But so that's happening there. As Obi just said here in the chat, where's the next trade? So I need to be looking for that next trade here as well. What else is happening here? Fed schools be speaking at 12. Thank you, Day Trader Cut, for reminding us about that. I have not seen any comments from Mr. Austin Goolsby, which also really funny. He spells it with two A's. A-U-S-T-A-N, Austin. So let's see. I don't know if we stan Austin over here. Let's find out what goes on here. But yeah, okay, I should have taken that Tesla 210 short when it came back in. I definitely did not have the confidence there. That is an L for me. But now we have Nvidia. Oh. What button did I think I meant to press confidence? I don't know. Sorry, guys. But N to the V to the D to the A, look at these lower highs. Now, do I want to short Nvidia here? Not necessarily, especially not with that topping tail candle into that previous resistance of, this is a level 106.80. But if I see us kind of break below that 107.40s and retest, that could be an interesting look for me. This is a topping tail candle to me, though. It looks like we're having a bit of a problem here with 108.50s. So let's see if we continue having that problem with 108.50s. Armando Zapata mentioning that consolidation in Apple. I want to shout out Obi for mentioning said Apple consolidation here earlier as well. But yeah, Apple lower highs. If we flop on and break here at VWAP, I might want a slice of that apple pie. But we all want a slice of knowledge and advice. So that rhymed accidentally. So let's take a look at Neil and his lesson of the day.
Welcome. The lesson of the day is brought to you by all of these flushes that have been happening in the market the last couple of days, because you always have to derive your inspiration from what is happening every single day that you can interpret, that you can use to get better as a trader. So when the market's dumping like this or ripping, I mean, this works in either direction. I want to talk about the concept of a key price level where things go to hell, or things get fantastic ramping to the upside. So I want to start with Tesla here, because I think this one's at least a little bit obvious, right? So first stop is what are some of the prices where things go wrong on Tesla? You can sort of see it's generally nice grinding trading off of the open to the upside. It's pretty strong. Then right here at about 213.5, it completely falls apart. Catches a bid at the 210 level, which we'll come right back to. Now, if you are looking for where is the next place to make a decision, if it comes back in the range, well, when it bounces and it tries to fill in the gap, I know VWAP is a great looking line on the chart here, but it's just a line on the chart. You had this entire liquidity zone when it finally failed that bottom, which was right up into 214 with these wicks above. So if you're looking for a place as the market was trying to trend down there when it flushed, the short, not necessarily VWAP there. It told you the supply zone was in this half of the 214 area. That's exactly where it turns around. And then look back what happened here when it flushed off the 211 level. So flush 211 as it comes right back into the upside. You've got your supply zone. Now this is a big wick in here, but the supply zone mostly 211 to 212. In this case, it does happen to be VWAP. Okay, fine, that's a little bit of a coincidence, but it goes right in, back into that supply zone, not to where it broke. And that's sort of the key. A lot of times when you talk about support and resistance, you want it to be that line. Now, in a more range-bound trading environment or a place where it's not as volatile, yeah, like that line in the sand can be really good. But when the market is doing this and showing you these big $2, $3 candles in that moment, you think about that supply zone. So when it goes back up to 211, it's more that it goes into where there was supply and then comes out of it on the other end. This is very important for trading as you get to prices where volatility is going to start to pick up. And I'll use an example of this because I was sort of caught Nvidia the other way, where this is the hammer. There's a few hammer candles to the downside, but the first one, after we were in a long on a bounce, it was a good bounce off 104 in the VWAP. We then had the big flush as it broke down, and look where the supply zone was. Again, right up to this top, 104.5. So what am I doing? I said I would take a 104.5 break, but that was the actual place where things turned around. Just like in the previous example, if that's where the sellers came in en masse, I needed it holding above that level, not just trying to break out in front of it. And if you look at the trend on Nvidia, it wasn't until it held above that level that you get the acceleration. So acceleration underneath where it showed you the big candles were, acceleration above that level. So this requires a lot of patience because it's still a short here. It's not quite a long there. It's a long in here, right? So this is the thing about when you get these prices where you're going to run away from the price. If you get that kind of action before, be patient to ensure that the buyers are above that key level. When it's not moving as much, go ahead, scalp in and out of it. You know, the levels hold a little bit tighter, but when it's showing you $3, $4, $5 candles off of that level, you need some more confirmation that it's reversed it. And look at the difference when it finally holds above. Then you take a break when it holds above. This break in here would have been like 105.50. That's 25 cents that it goes against you, as opposed to the other breakouts. If you wanted to make this long work, you're holding it $3 against you. If you wanted to make this breakout work, you're holding it $1.40 against you. When it holds above that key price area where it showed you it was important, you're risking 25 cents on the same break. Now, obviously, you probably have maybe a 50-cent stop, whatever it is. And as we speak, we're at another one of those supply zones in the other direction. All of a sudden, Nvidia wants to hold this 107. So you've got to be very, very patient. I mean, with Tesla, it worked out. With Nvidia, it didn't. But that's why we learn from those mistakes. A little bit more patience with Nvidia and probably would have had a long that worked out very nicely the way we were intending all morning. But that's what it's all about. Take the advantage of the information given to you, especially on a volatile day, to make your trading better. That's your lesson of the day. Those supply zones that stock price runs away from with extra volatility, you need more confirmation that it's broken through the zone, not just that individual price level that's key. Observe the supply zone inside of it and then wait until it's breaking out away from it. That's so much more important than just one line on a chart. Good luck trading, everybody.
Thank you, Neil.
Hi, Neil. Thank you so much for that lesson of the day. Also, thank you to Day Trader Cup putting some comments here from Feds Goolsby, which the market has been kind of chop and turning and reacting to. Feds Goolsby saying that if unemployment is going to go higher than 4.1%, that's the kind of thing the Fed has to respond to. So it looks like the market is having to respond to these comments from Feds Goolsby. As with that push up here, I took a baby long on Tesla. I was seeing higher lows. I was like, cool, get along 41s, decentish sized position. And then I was like, oh, we can't break above 210.50s. Adara act Adara. Took like 6 pennies on this. Exactly 6 pennies on this, so I'm not going to be like, yay, this is the trade of my life or anything, but you got to take the reps, especially when maybe your brain is like not at a high operating speed. So that's what matters, right? No excuses, just finding ways to mitigate and to moderate and to, you know, maybe you're short bias, maybe you're tired bias, maybe you're long bias, whatever bias you have to find ways to operate with that in your trading. Tesla breakdown below 210s. Yeah, size on this. So gonna take this with size. If Tesla will have me, you know, Tesla, if you want me to take you to the dance, I would love to go with you. I'll buy you like a corsage and everything. You know what I mean? I don't know who buys who the corsage or the boutonniere, but you'll have one and it'll be like a really good time. We'll go like have a slow dance maybe or two. I don't know. It's up to you. You can request the song. I'm not even that picky right now, and I'm usually picky about music. So let's go, Tesla. Yesla. Oh, look at that 210 rejection. Oh, okay, Tesla waking me up over her. Okay, Tesla, we're like 75 pennies in the money here. We're going to take out some profit here, 40% of the position at 70. Oh my gosh, Tesla. Tesla. So we're going to see if this keeps going. We're really struggling to get below 75s in a way that I don't like necessarily feel like I'm in love with. But, that's not the point of school dances and trading. It's not to be in love. It's just to, have a fun night or day, I guess, hang out, see what's popping. Tesla's still struggling with 210 on this book. I like this, but what I don't like are the higher lows. So Tesla, I'll get out part of here at 80s if you really can't break below here. This is getting a skosh dicey for me, and I don't want to not trust myself here because I just kept talking about, trust yourself, but it's like, if I don't trust myself, what does that say about me? Not great things. So there we got out. We should be getting out here 40% if we get to like 8. Okay, there we go. If we're out 40%, I might have to get the rest out here too if we can't break back below 80s in a decisive way. If we retest and reject that 210 area, I'm willing to add to this position. Took more size because I had more confidence in this trade. I was watching for longer. Someone's clapping. You are in. I know you're taking Amazon as well for a little rise to the downside.
Yeah, so
how's she doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Again, I was looking at the strong kind of push. There goes the fail of 18.6 on the DAC, and I just turned over to Sean. I was like, yeah, that pull off of that 18.6 looks nice. That Amazon looking a little bit interesting as well. And we get a nice little flush down, back down. VWAP pulling back in as well on the Intel. So this is selling coming in quite strong. Got to keep eyes on the VIX on a day like today, and with a little bit of a bounce on that VIX. Let's see if this bid can continue to get a little bit smashed here. Definitely happening on Intel. Let's see if that 21 can come back in. We're coming right back into VWAP. So VWAP had sellers to start off with. Can it have? Is it going to switch back up to buyers? I don't know, but let's find out. 18.6 rejecting right now. A little bit of a pullback happening here. So we did bid up quite nicely since about 10:45, about 20 minutes before we kind of came on here, all the way into 12. So we've been bidding up quite strongly for about an hour across the board. Let's see if we can take a little bit of a relief. I'm looking for that VWAP to come in on the Amazon. It's already come in here on the Intel, and I'm taking a look across the board. Apple's still kind of consolidating sideways, hasn't really done anything too crazy. Nvidia's taken a little bit of a pullback. We attempted to push through the high a day, and we're coming right back through the high a day. Alphabet, prior bar lows on the 15-minute, we're holding as of prior bar. We just broke that prior bar kind of trend on Alphabet there. Nice little strong pullback, and same thing with Amazon. Oh boy. Here it comes in. Softy consolidating sideways. A little bit of a range happening on Softy underneath VWAP as well. So we can kind of keep an eye on that one there. If that range breaks to the downside, maybe that can give more confluence for the short to come in here as of right now. If Softy can break that range low, what am I talking about, you may ask? Let's take a quick look here at what I'm talking about. So Softy on the 15-minute, you can see a nice little consolidation below this VWAP level. We've wicked that 408 as of right now. Let's see if we can come into day lows at 404s here on Softy, and that's what I'm looking at. But I've got to give some of these things some room, right? room to work, room to kind of come in. If we are going to take a little bit of a pullback, again, market is pretty, it's volatile. Things are hot. Things are competitive. Got to keep. I guess what's the saying? Got to keep. Got to stay on your feet. Got to keep your head on a swivel, right? That's what I'm looking for. Yes, stay on your feet. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you're watching everything. Make sure you got eyes on the VIX, eyes on some of the market leaders, eyes on the DAC and the ES as well, and maybe potentially giving us some confluence for a potential trade there. Apple still consolidating in its upper quartile has me a little concerned if we're going to continue or not, but I got eyes on that as well. AMD still chopping sideways, nothing too crazy going on that one as of right now. But where is the next trade? I am looking to potentially get more into this Intel, but if VWAP is going to hold as of right now, maybe I am a little too early on this one. What do you got going on there, Dara? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I looked at my side chart. Didn't even realize at first it was Intel. I was like, oh, I like this name. And then I was like, oh, it is Intel. I like that VWAP breakdown because of that previous support there as well in the 5-minute. I want to call up your style or anything, but I might. We were talking about this as well during the lesson of the day. So yeah, shout out to you for that trade. It's a really good look. The way I am, I almost want to retest of 2130s because that was below the 90 MA and that. Wake up here. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but I have eyes on Intel. I took 2 winners here on TSLA because of how I trade. It was had 2 trades instead of 1, which would have probably been reasonable. Took that short at 210, worked out, took out a third of this, or 40% of this position, like way too early. Took out 40% of the position at 85 pennies, because I was like, what kind of retest? Not 85 pennies, 15 pennies in the money, took it out at 85s. Then I got out some more here, just below 50, so took about 50 pennies on 60% of the position, cool. Then I get back involved, because I like those lower levels. We get to 209, we chop, we churn, I got short, ended up taking like, some amount of pennies. I think it was like 30 cents there on that trade. So nice look there. Intel breaking lower. Intel's not going to give me that area I want to see for myself. I'm going to keep eyes on it. Also, you know what's like weird is CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike long. I was saying this yesterday too. CrowdStrike, the rest of the market really weak. CrowdStrike's like, I can still hold levels. I can do what I want to do. CrowdStrike in an uptrend, and we're bouncing. It's not only off VWAP, though it is off VWAP. We're bouncing here where we had this topping tail candle. The volume on this, though, is minuscule, which is one of the only reasons I'm not hopping in on this with both feet ready to strike while the iron is hot, or crowd strike while the iron is hot. I don't know. But yeah, lots of interesting stuff happening here. SPY actually weirdly strong as we have that sell-off. So if I were to take a short on one of these ETF market-related names, what I would be interested in here would be TQs. Because TQs, look at these. Okay. Clear range top here around 59.40s, especially on a wick basis in the 5-minute. We break below that. Oh my God, TQs, if you would have come below VWAP, especially with that previous support resistance here, 58.50s, the amount I want to short here is so tempting, but we're kind of bouncing here on the book. I have eyes on it. We're going to have to wait and see what we do here on the Qs, but oh my gosh, I'm so tempted to get involved. Okay, we're going to get involved 49. Okay, no. Okay, Qs. Wait, I can wait, Qs. I can ask you some Q&As before I get involved in this trade. This Amazon short looks so, yeah, shout out to your trades, because these are both like looking gorgeous. You're just looking all right. Yeah, you're looking at Amazon with like a twinkle in your eye.
I'm like staring down the tape right now. Something I do want to know, there's 1,000 lots at 2111 on Intel right now. So let's see in and around that VWAP area. That's a little zoom in. I like it. Hello, what's going on? 167 holding as of right now on the Zon there. Let's see what that'll bring in. I do have to kind of fix this. Okay, hold on. 167. Yeah, okay, so 167 potentially holding as of right now on the Zon, and 2116s, this VWAP area here on the Intel. We did pull back here on some of these futures. Intel now trading below that VWAP. I have VWAP at 2120. We're trading at 2114 with some size sitting at 2111s. You can see it right there. But he's sitting on a, I'm forgetting, and on the EdgeX book right there at 21. Okay, some size. Okay, but he's gone. So he didn't get filled. I don't think he got filled. No, he just disappeared from the book. Spoofy man?
Spoofy man.
Okay, anyways, maybe some spoofy business going on there on the Intel with that bid kind of flashing some size there. Nothing too significant. We can see some of the size that's been kind of trading. Like I said earlier, I pointed out earlier, someone hit 200,000 shares on the ask, and somebody bought, somebody sold at 2150, and now we're trading below that on Intel. So, oh boy, that was some interesting action nonetheless there on Intel. Let's see if we can catch a little bit of a continuation here, but you can see that we've been kind of based out on that 18.4 and then kind of topping in on that 18.6 as well. But pre-market trend and bigger picture trend has been a little bit to the downside here across the board. So I do want to keep that in mind as well going forward on the trading. Apple still consolidating sideways there. Chop, chop, chop. Can we get that VWAP on Amazon? I have no idea, but that VWAP I have sitting at that 166.13. And that's the anchored VWAP, not the daily session VWAP. Daily session VWAP I have at 164.50, so a little bit of a distinct difference, 2 points, almost a point and a half of a difference there between intraday VWAP and anchored VWAP on the day there. Let's see if we can get down to anchored VWAP at 166s on the Zon and see what price action will kind of show us there. I'm looking for the chart and price action to kind of talk to me, and it is talking to me a little nice.
A little nice? Just a little bit. Like, it's not bullying you.
Yeah, no.
Or anything. No. Okay, that's good. I'm really tempted to hop into this Amazon short because I don't want to cop any styles, and I want to shout out your pardon? What'd you say?
I said it is definitely tempting.
Right? It's so tempting. Look at, we're like here at the 90 MA, topping tail candles galore. I really like this look here. on the A to the M to the Z to the N. I want to see we keep bouncing off 167 though, because every time I'm like maybe short 167,
that's the only thing.
We pop a little bit. That is the only reason that I'm a little bit hesitant, especially because I know I am as skittish as like, I don't know, a house cat or like a really shy dog. Like if I see anything I don't like, I'm gonna be running out of there. So I want to be cognizant. That being said, generally lower highs here in A to the M to the Z to the N. Super tempted to short this. Let's wait. Let's see what's happening. But also, you know, just want to be confident over here. Make sure that the trades are making sense for me. Yeah, still looking at AMZN. Okay, lots of things pushing higher here in this market.
Yeah.
SPY pushing higher. I attempted a TQ short. Okay, I'm happy I got it where I did, let me tell you. So I got involved 53s. The lowest I got when we were involved was 58. 59, 58, 39, so it would have been like 14 pennies that we wicked right back up. I kind of knew this was going to be dicey. Said, Adara, if we take 60s, we keep pushing higher, get out. We did, I did. Tesla coming back to a whole dollar level here. So if Tesla gets a nice little bounce here off 209s, I am vaguely tempted to go long this pop, but like only vaguely. Like not like super tempted, because that 209.50 and 210.50 are still two big old areas of resistance for me previously. So you know what I mean? I want to be cognizant about that. Also, we get to 209s, we sell off pretty aggressively. Not sure. Amazon though now is also trying to be like, oh, Adara, are you still like looking at me? Because like I got up, but now I'm at 167.30s. So I don't know what to do here. This is quite the look here in this market. We have SPY as well. Which is a bit rangy here. Oh my God, Adara, why are you not looking at the SPY every time it gets to 531.50? Every time we get there, after we cleared that resistance we had a couple times, support, higher highs. This is a great look. I need to have my eyes on the SPY a little bit more. SPY drops, as Bears vs. Bulls joked yesterday, instead of eye drops. Let's keep an eye on this look. Or look at, I don't know, Intel, if you reject 90 MA, I am tempted to take you short here. But also, shout out to Obi for mentioning that Microsoft range, because you guys know I had eyes on this. I love ranges. This Microsoft range is just like so tasty. I love this. Num, 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 num. It is giving you a bottom here. We have higher lows, that's the only thing. But on the 5 minute, you've got a bottom here of like 405, top of roughly 407.50. I would not short this range, though, even though we're below VWAP, and that's because I'm seeing higher lows. If we get back to the base of this range and we hold, vaguely tempted to go long, but lately we can't even decisively close above the 90 MA on these last few 5 minute candles. So let's find out what is going on here. Nvidia honestly does not really care. Nvidia, great support here off 106. It's a whole dollar level, yes, but it's also that pre-market area of resistance not once but twice. We get a big doji before falling up, then we get great support. Nvidia, just as I was like, hey, maybe we reject here at that previous area of resistance, that 107.80s, Nvidia's like, what do you mean maybe I reject? I will keep going higher, Adara. Calm down. So yeah, shout out to you, Nvidia. That being said, now we kind of had that fake pop over 80s. Now we're dwindling a little bit. I think this market is still strong. I think Nvidia especially is still strong, but I'm tempted to short a pop. I have eyes on NVDA. I don't want to rush into it, but to me, there is something in this water, and then in these markets, or whatever you want to say here, that I like. Apple high of day says the Piper. Yeah, I mean this has been wild. I see you exited the zone.
Yeah, so I got stopped out there as it pushed right back up. So yeah, you're right. That 167 hold was the one thing that was concerning me. I was like, all right, well, 167. It attempted to break a couple times. Failure to follow through on the breakdown of 167. And then I looked at it, I was like, oh boy, okay, if the market kind of pops, might get stopped out of this one, as I'm not really giving it to the highs there. But you can see that 18.6, that rip that came in. How much time is left on this 15-minute candle to print? About 6.5 minutes left. And we're pushing right back up into 168s there on the Amazon. Now, this was what I was kind of looking at here. Very strong kind of push there, looking for that trend break to take a reversion back down into VWAP there, confluence with some of the pre-market levels, pre-market highs, and the opening range high as well, right underneath that 168. Sure, we can chop around a little bit there. Don't necessarily want to get involved with that chop. I was in a little too aggressively at that 167.50s with a stop at 167.80s, and we got taken out right there as the market pushes right back up. You can see that right there as it pushes into that 168. But yeah, no, if we start to consolidate, get a little sideways, I'm looking for the next trade. Again, it's like you're not always going to get it on that first try. A lot of decent ideas may take a few tries there. That's what I'm realizing as of recent, and that's perfectly fine. Again, not really looking to size in aggressively unless and until it actually starts to work. And look at that. We're about to push some of those highs there. 168, what is that? 168.39s, 168.30s-ish are some of those highs. A little bit of a double topping action. But if we start to consolidate above here after making a base at that 161 and pushing up, bidding up for almost an hour, and then we start to consolidate, holding that 167 on the bid, I'm thinking we might be poised for a little bit of move higher, especially with Apple pushing its highs after a tight consolidation in its upper quartile as well. So got to keep eyes on that. And something else I do have to note is the charting that I do on my own time. I have 167.30s as a little bit of a significant multi-time frame level here on the Amazon. And we held that. We pulled back down into that 167, and we're holding it on the bid quite significantly as the market pushes or attempted to push back down. The market actually pushed back down about 50% reversion of this strong green bar that we had at 11:30, but Amazon barely pulled back. Barely pulled back a point after bidding up over 8 points, right? So not even close to a 50% reversion. So relative strength is what I'm reading there on off of that price action. So yeah, I want to keep the stop tight. I don't want to aggressively size unless and until it actually comes in. And if Amazon actually broke that 167, I was looking to add into that position and get a little bit more aggressive. But if it wants to come back up on my initial entry, that's perfectly fine. I will come back to you a little bit later if you're gonna kind of pull back there. But that 18.6 definitely looks a little bit juicy. We're gonna chop around and get a little competitive and get a little crowded in around some of these areas. I do want to keep eyes on what is the VIX up to is the question that I'm asking right now. Oh boy, the VIX back down at 25 from 29 halves. So nice little action happening there on the VIX as well. Nice. I see that you are punching Kizadera. What's going on with the scalps?
I took 30 pennies Nvidia. It was a scalp. Nice. And this was, I will admit, like if I said I was qualmless or not a little shaking on my boots in this trade, I'd be lying to you guys. But also, sometimes you have to have a little bit of discomfort. I find some of those trades that are the best are the ones where you're uncomfortable because you feel good about it, but you're waiting for it to have its moment. My biggest issue with myself with this Nvidia trade is I do not love my entry point. I got involved at 67s because I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get 107.80s because that was the top of this area. I did mention I was interested in shorting this because we did have that a bit of rejection there at that previous area, which we rejected pretty strongly. So I said, I would not give this a lot of room. We're above the 90 MA. We're above VWAP. But I would be really interested in scalping this if it works out. So yeah, shout out to Robbie V as well, kind of echoing what I'm saying here, right? These Nvidia rejection of 108. So it basically that was my impetus for the trade. I said basically as long as we stay decisively below this 107.90 area, as long as we can't get above it, I'm okay. And there were times where I was tempted to just get out of this and panic sell, but I said, Adara, we are not making higher lows. We're really struggling here. I think if we get that breakdown, you can take some money here. I wanted my 30 pennies. I wanted that area here where we had that big old doji, was able to get out there at 36s. So took about 31 pennies on my N to the V to the D to the A trade. This is my first Nvidia trade today and also my first Nvidia trade in a while here. So happy I took that trade. Also, I was talking about CrowdStrike long. Yeah, I'm a little bit stricken with FOMO for not getting involved. Though, I mean, I'm not, again, when I look at the volume, you have to have, things matter. The volume of the day for CrowdStrike is not negligible to use a Sharifism. It's almost 6 million shares. But the volume right now in this candle, 40,000 shares? Nah. I did the right thing for myself, so that's what matters. GME says nader. So let's take a look at gimme stock after midnight. AMC actually reporting earnings tonight, though, so interesting look here for G to the M to the E. Oh, wow, okay. No massive volume spike on this. This is slightly more than the volume we're seeing per candle in CrowdStrike, but nothing major. But wow, GME, coming off that little area we kind of got into in the pre, right before the open here around 21. Did 21 do something for GME? You bet it did. Massive bounce here, bouncing off this 90 MA, not one, but two topping tail candles. Beautiful look here. Go up, Nvidia, says Arcubio. Yeah, Nvidia now trying to come back to the area. I'm really happy with where I scalped out of that because that ended up being about the bottom of that most recent movement. Tesla coming back to my level here around that 210, so I got to have eyes on my TSLA. Today started out okay, and then it took some questionable trades. But you know what's great though about the markets is sometimes you have to take a couple different tries at something to get the trade that works. I want to shout you out for saying that because that really resonated with me. Tesla, I took some L's on basically the same idea, just trying to play off this 210.50. Then I was able to take some trades that worked because I think sometimes too the L's motivate you to go harder. You have those losses, you didn't trade it how you wanted it to, but then the opportunity comes again, you have to strike while the iron's hot. So I really want to shout out what you had to say there because I really agree. Oh, this is interesting. Bears versus Bulls telling me that, you know, back in the meme stock days, many moon boys ago, they would refer to GME and AMC as Jimmy and Amy. That's cute. I wonder if Jimmy and Amy are going to go, you know, on going to date together, go on the dance. But yeah, shout out to Neil Roberts also giving Neil, I don't know why I said his full name, it's Neil, shout about taking multiple tries. So I think that's a really good point that you made, and I just wanted to echo that. Let's take a look at some of these earnings plays because we have DraftKings, or as Sean said, why is it DraftKings the NQ? Donkey Kong, as I know Sean sometimes refers to it. Oh, wow, Tesla reject. Yeah, I got to keep eyes on Tesla. But DraftKings, just to quickly look at some of these earnings that we had earlier, day one earnings plays. DraftKings here is kind of interesting, down about 8% at 30s. DraftKings trying to bounce off VWAP, but the volume here somehow even worse than CrowdStrike, and this is day one earnings. It looks like regardless of what your earnings were, I think a lot of these names got hit by the market to the downside bug. But how is Intel? I saw you looking very, pensively at Intel. How is Intel going?
No, it's that Amazon. Amazon comes up into 168, fails to follow through on the 168 break, and it's back down to 167 halves. So I'm like, all right, a little bit of FOMO, but you know what? It's a point, whatever. It's fine. It's just $1, and it's consolidating. I'm looking for multiple dollars here on the Amazon reversion, and I'll let it chop around from 168 to 167s here until it gives me some more information. But that 168 failure to follow through, I was looking at it for the punch in back through as the market kind of pulls back in. But you know what? I'll give it some more time. Again, I have to remind myself sometimes of the bigger picture that's been going on, but I do still like the idea for the reversion down to VWAP, and it seems like it is coming in right now. That 167 coming right in. Let's see if we can get that break right now. But again, punching into the range low break. Oof, I don't know about that one, but we did kind of break trend, and we're going a little bit sideways there. We're holding below that 18.6 as well. And Apple is breaking day highs as of right now through the high of its price consolidation. And we were talking about this earlier when you were like, oh, it's making lower highs, but it's holding above VWAP, and it's trading in the upper quartile of a strong leg that it's had all day. So I was like maybe a little bit more poised for a push up. In terms of how I see it, but then again, how I see it doesn't really matter. The market's going to do what the market's going to do, and that 167 holding as of right now. So that might be an interesting piece of information if that 167 continues to hold on the bid and we're consolidating up here, and the market kind of holds in and around this 18.6 might be interesting. But Intel coming back into that 21 mark. Let's see what we got in store. Let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. Amazon taking a little bit of a pullback. Nvidia still consolidating. Another name that I had on watch was T-Mobile, TMUS. 2 strong days, earnings day 1, earnings day 2, and had that nice little continuation off of the open today, but trading sideways as of right now on TMUS. And I'm also looking at, AMD, not really doing too much. What else do I have on my list here? Look at TQs, look at Moderna, NCLH, Qualcomm, ARM, and Meta. Okay, let's take a look at ARM. While some of this stuff kind of pans out here for us. This is another thing. Here's the thing. If I'm giving this trade right here that I had on Amazon the proper risk, I got to give it to the high. The high is sitting at 168.40. I give it to 167.80s. Market doesn't care. That 167.80s is more like, oh, I don't want to take the appropriate risk for this trade, so therefore I'm going to arbitrarily pick the 80s because of the action that I liked coming back down through the 75s for the stop out. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Give it the right risk, give it to the high, and then you may be more likely to get that trade that you're looking for, is me talking to myself as of right now. But yeah, let's take a quick look at some of these other names that I have on my list for potential in play on the day. And we can start off with some of these earnings day 2 plays. Meta chopping sideways, nothing too crazy as of right now. ARM, we know that ARM was quite crazy. Today is earnings day 2, and why don't I have it anchored off of earnings? Let's fix that right now. Let's throw in the anchored from this earnings. Now, some of these other lines that you're seeing are anchored from either prior earnings or prior significant points of reference, maybe catalyst driven or price action driven. stuff there as well, and we're trading below it is the information that I'm getting from that. Yeah, we're trading below that earnings anchored as well, but earnings anchored all the way at 2280s here on the arm, and we're trading sideways, so don't necessarily want to get involved or too involved with that one just yet. Qualcomm, let's take a quick look at that. Sideways. This was pretty nasty there. Earnings comes out. Nice strength into 195, slam right back down. So maybe a bigger picture wicking action on the Qualcomm here of an attempt to push back into the 190s, maybe an attempt for that 200 prior highs sitting at 197s, slams right back down and gets a strong earnings day one fade to the downside all the way down to 161s, and we're holding some of that prior day low as of right now with a day low of 158.77. Nice little consolidation here going on that Qualcomm 164s to 168-ish, I guess, but it hasn't really visited the bottom of that range just yet, but it's hit the top 3 times right now with only about maybe a double test of the bottoms there as well. So Qualcomm looking interesting. Let's see NCLH, see where this ship is going here on Norwegian Cruise Line. So day 3 earnings, oh boy, look at that. Day 1, a little bit of weakness coming off of the open, rebid, can't really get past this consolidation high. Coming in the next day, more of the same. Those sellers are still there, slamming in, now taking control, along with the market tailwind that we had yesterday. Look at that consecutive selling. Nice little grinding. Definitely seller on the tape all day yesterday on NCLH. I know I was talking to Yanni about this one, and we were just like, yeah, oh boy, this thing just continues to sell off without any sort of relief. Now, again, that was a strong confluence with the market as well, but take a look at that continuation happening on NCLH off of the open there. Can't really get back through that 17 mark. Opens at 1675s. 1675 open comes right into 1560s for a point within the first 45 minutes of the trading day on NCLH. So, oh boy, talk about a trend continuation trade on that one there. What is next? Moderna. We know that was dancing with 100 yesterday. What are we doing today? Oh boy, we flushed down into that 100 on day 1. We cannot get above that 100, only about 102s and some change. And look at that continuation fade. We can't even trade above this sideways consolidation that we had yesterday for over 3 hours in the later day of the trading session. And look at that. Pre-market consolidation trading below that 3-hour consolidation from day 1 earnings, and right off of the open, you can't even get to those pre-market lows there, and strong wicking action below that 92s for a continuation to the downside. Oh boy, Moderna, that 100 reject is coming in hot. If there is a ticker I should be shorting, it seems like I missed the shot on Moderna there, coming to the downside. 87s breaking below, 87s breaking below right now on the Moderna. But yeah, that's kind of what I had on my watch list for today. Nothing too crazy. A lot of ideas, only about a couple of trades. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm in my cyber truck, beep, beep. And if you can't maybe tell, I think maybe a little bit too tired to be in the cyber truck right now. I, got to pull over at the side of the road, take a bit of a rest potentially, because what am I doing?
Can't be driving
Adira?
fatigued.
Pardon?
Can't be driving fatigued.
No, you really can't. Yeah, this was, I don't even know I'm really disappointed in myself for this. So I liked the two, okay. So backstory. So I like 209. I was watching that at 209 long as we broke above. I had an order ready, 209.04s. I was like, okay, if we hold above, get long 209s. I didn't get filled. I was sad. I was like, whatever, this is kind of annoying, but it's fine. And then I was like, okay, maybe if we get a bounce at 209.50, which was a level I liked earlier, then I get long there. Yeah, no, wasn't able to get long there either. Then we come though, and we're trying to push into 210s in a way I liked. I will say I stand by the entry point, though I did give my whole preamble so I could recognize the potential FOMO there, because you want to always be able to recognize what was your mental state in the trade. My mental state in this trade, I will admit, was probably a little bit clouded by FOMO, because I was like, let's see what we do here. Like, whatever, we're making higher lows. As we get into 210s, I was like, okay, dope. If we get that 210 break, that's going to be sweet. I got to involve 210.80s at the time, again, a higher low. I'm just going to get out here because we're at 50s. That was the area I should have just gotten out in the first place. So took an L on this Tesla, put the L in TSLA, unfortunately, again here, and Am I getting filled? We'll find out. But basically, yeah, I mean, again, the mental was not there. Got to go back to the drawing board with the tired trading rules. As Obi says, you don't want to drive fatigued. I don't want to be doing this, whatever that is called, trading. I don't want to trade fatigued either.
Yeah.
We're bouncing off 209s, but now we're rejecting 209.50. I'm going to be putting my eyes on that. I can't believe it's already like 12:30.
Yeah.
What a day we've had in these markets. Yeah, this has been a while. Put it in self-draw. It says Happy Dingle Trader.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what the FSD is for.
Right? That's
Yes.
Streve's always like, he's like,
Yeah.
you'll be able to drive once
fair.
FSD's everywhere. That's what he always says. Because I'm like, oh, I can't drive. He's like, don't worry. Once FSD's everywhere, you don't have to be awake in the car.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, you do have to be awake while trading a little bit. That Intel short is looking like tasty, though. You have 30 pennies in the money on the INGC.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh boy, why don't I have more on this Intel off of this prior high there? But again, we're still kind of chopping around VWAP. There is some significant size sitting at that 21. Oh boy, look at that, over about 2,000 lots sitting on that 21. Let's see if we kind of smash the bid on that 21, kind of giving us more. It is SSR, right? So if we're smashing bids, if we're smashing significant bids, just a perspective. That 167 is holding on Amazon, so it's good that I didn't chase. It's good that I kind of was patient. It is doing a 1-point consolidation there on the Amazon, just underneath that high of day. So I am glad I didn't partake a little bit more in that trade. I'll let it kind of run. I don't want to fight that trend. It did break the trend, but we're now sideways. We're slowing down. It could be trend deceleration before we continue back through the upside. But I'm also watching the DAC here. If the DAC can get above this 630s-ish area here, then yeah, Amazon could very well continue to the upside. Again, it is doing some significant relative volume today. It is a large cap. It is one of the Mag 7, and it is doing over 5 times our vol on a 5 period here on the day. So I do not want to take the counter trend or reversion as aggressively if we're going to be holding and doing this kind of price action there. Look at that size getting taken out as well as Amazon breaks through that high, as we were talking about, 168.50s, pushing back up higher and higher. Where will we stop? Who knows? That 170 looking interesting as well. 170.29 pre-market highs, and some of that after-hour lows from yesterday confluencing with that 170 level as well. And it seems like this is straight delivering up to that 170 prime delivery, next day delivery, intraday delivery, same day delivery happening to the upside off of that gap fill down at that 160s on the Zon as at 18.6. We were just talking about that. If that blasts through, we're looking for more of the upside there. And what is Apple doing is the question I'm asking. Apple is continuing to hold above its range, that price compression that we were doing off of the open there, and we're continuing to the upside there. Alphabet also catching a little bit of a bid. Softy, that tight consolidation underneath the VWAP. We're right back into VWAP right now. Nvidia is showing or exhibiting some strong chop as of right now as well. So let's see what we have in store. Oh boy. See, the only reason why I really want to revert this Amazon move is because I missed a long off of that 161. So it might be tilted trading, might be a little emotional trading. I might be forcing for an idea because I missed the long. I'm like, I got to get short. Now that's something I do have to work on getting a little bit better at. But you know what? I've been getting better at that. I've been putting on less risk for those kind of trades where I'm like, all right, well, I missed one side. So where do I kind of revert the move where I would kind of be selling or starting to sell with confluence, seeing the bid kind of dissipate, maybe trend breaking as well for potential reversals happening here. Intel coming right back into VWAP on that strength. So let's see how long that strength kind of holds here on the market. As again, we're doing a little bit of wick action here. Only 2 minutes left on this 15-minute candle to print, and we pushed that high of that consolidation, and we're pulling back in with a little bit of a top wick here on the DAC. So interesting price action nonetheless. What are you guys trading? Adrian saying Amazon so frustrating, this Amazon long exit. Grr. Yes.
Grr.
Price action is very peculiar on the day today. Again, with the VIX being up in the 20s, watch out for volatility with a little bit of chance of sunshine as well in the forecast today. Let's see what we have in store. What do you got going on there? I see that you are eyeing this Nvidia.
I am, yeah. I want to get involved in the Gensanity over here. I can't take no credit for that pun. Someone said it in some Reuters article or something, but I liked it. But Nvidia, we had the 107. It was also when we were rejecting the 90 MA. I was like, cool, tasty, dope, right? Then we pop up to 30s, and I'm like, okay, good thing I didn't get in. But then I'm like, let's wait. If we get decisively below, I'm not gonna get filled. If we get decisively below 107, then you take a short, because that would look like a good time. And then we did, and I was like, okay, cool, we'll wake up to 107.02s. And Nvidia was like, I don't actually have to do that, Adara. I can just break down. So that was a little frustrating. Missed the opportunity to be like, oh, 30 pennies in the money instead of not in the trade. But if we get back and we reject again, somebody's going short. That somebody is me. I'm taking more sides with it because I feel good about it. One of my rules, as I said, when I do like my later in the day / quote unquote tired trades, one of my things is like, is it a trade stock I already have levels on? I've already been looking at. I have been talking about when this level on Nvidia earlier, so I felt good about it. And then I totally missed that short because that fell there. Yeah, sorry, just a little bit in the tired trading mode over here, but that doesn't mean we can't find opportunities. We just have to wait for them to strike us. So Nvidia, you want to come back to reject 107 again? I will take that short. SPY here at 533 is not being able to get over that. If I'm trying to take a short of as we kind of get a little bit of a move down here, this SPY 533 might be the short because I do like those whole dollar level shorts. I'm going to take less size because I don't really trust myself right now with regards to, you want to have trust yourself, but you know, sometimes your reads are a little bit weaker. If we come back to that 533 and reject, I'm interested in this short, but I want to be patient with it. But then again, you don't want to be too patient because that's what got me on NVDA. That's the best part of these markets is it's just so, I don't know, I feel like it's so, there's always so much to look at. Sorry guys, I know I'm talking a little bit quickly, but I get very excited by these markets. I also find, I was talking to Fabian about this morning, when I try to speak slower, I feel like my throat does not like it, and I also feel like I'm harder to understand. So interesting stuff. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting time there. Starbucks looks like it's following through, says Spark Shop. Okay, Starbucks getting some caffeine, maybe?
Maybe.
In that one, is it a grande or is it what's your go-to Starbucks order, Obi?
Caramel macchiato.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Iced, hot?
Either or.
Either or, yeah.
I don't know.
I like
That's
the iced
my
caramel
go-to.
macchiato.
Yeah, they're both pretty decent. I like it.
Oh, we got
the crickets. Damn, come on.
Man.
Why? Not I guess fancy enough for Fabian.
Fabian,
there.
yeah.
I don't know. I think my siblings like to go to Starbucks a lot. I don't necessarily go out of my way to be like, I'm gonna go get some Starbucks, but every time we do go together, I like that drink as well. A little sweet, a little bit of caffeine there as well. So yeah, not too bad. Market's kind of pulling back off of that 1600. So I'm watching that Amazon. If Amazon kind of broke that range above with that 60s holding offer at that 68 and some change, holding bid at that 67s, and we pull back in to the range, that to me is a failure to follow through of that range high break. So that could poise us a little bit better for the breakdown reversion into VWAP if the market starts to come in. So I'm just keeping that in mind. Those are just my opinions on the Amazon. But Bucks, definitely to the upside. Look at that. I just pulled that ticker up as well. And very, very strong on the day. A bit of a reversion, right? We saw that yesterday. Got slammed in. Day 2 earnings. I definitely missed on this trade. I was like, okay, well, look at that wick action off of the open on day 1. Strong off the reaction. Pulls back in. Opens up. Wicks the pre-market high. Slams back in. Consolidates and end of day sells off. That selling, look at that continuation off the 78. Right off the open there. So that sentiment, that wick off day 1 and then continuation day 2, very, very strong. But now we're holding some of that prior day base and pushing a little bit of a reversion, more than a 50% reversion of prior day's action there happening on the Bucks. Now we know what's been happening to this name. A little bit of strong sell-off there on a bigger picture on the Bucks. You can see it on the weekly right here. Look at that. Some highs here at that 118. 118.25 all-time highs, I think. All-time highs? Yes, sir. All-time highs. And we've pulled back in quite significantly down to 76s, where some of the support has shown up over the past couple of years in and around the low 60s. So looking interesting, Starbucks. I don't think they're really going anywhere, Adara, as they're very, very popular and worldwide on the Bucks. So coming into that support area in the low 60s and 70s, definitely looking a little interesting. Maybe not for a day trade, maybe for some bigger picture stuffs there on the Bucks as well. But interesting stuff nonetheless. Let us know in the chat what you guys are trading here on the day, and we can take a quick look at it. I am not involved, as you guys know. I have a bunch of ideas, and I probably only get involved with a couple of them because to be honest, only a couple of them probably only ever set up with all the things. And I find myself taking the messy trades when I kind of partake in tickers that are not checking all the boxes of confluence and setup for my trade when it does kind of come in. So that's something I do kind of note and keep in mind when I am trading. So that's something that I do have to watch going forward. But yeah, no, I don't really have too much else on watch. 21's holding this view up here on the Intel. So the market's popping up and down, and Intel's in about a 20 penny range here. So gonna sit tight on that one there. But no, I do like that Starbucks for the push back up, and Amazon kind of pushing further highs as well. Take a quick look at our friends here, Mag 7s, what your boys up to. Softy still consolidating sideways. So that VWAP, those VWAP sellers are very dominant on Softy is what that kind of information is telling me here. Every time we push up into VWAP, we are getting sold off. Nice little range trading happening here on Softy. Range highs, 408s, lows in the 405s, 404s-ish area. And here comes that 168 back through on the Zon as the markets pull back in. 18.5 potentially coming in here if we break this range low. Can we get some of that selling pressure to come right back in? I have no idea, but maybe some push to the downside here, 18.5s, or we just kind of come back into the consolidation low there. Apple pulling back as well. Nvidia, nice little pullback. We did wick or failure to follow through into day highs there, and prior bar low on the 15-minute kind of gets violated about 45 minutes ago, and we've started to get a little bit of weakness back down. Are we going back to VWAP? Yeah, we're coming back into VWAP there. 104.93 VWAP on the Nvidia happening as of right now. This 160, this little consolidation on Amazon definitely has me interested. 5 times RVOL. Don't necessarily want to stand in front of a train there, or the delivery truck on Amazon off of that 161. Yeah, so don't want to necessarily counter trend that, but I do like the short on the Intel a little bit better as of right now. Yeah, no, got nothing else going on. 12:51. When do we do that? The lesson again at 1, I think.
I think we usually do it like once on the hour. Okay. But yeah, it's been quite the day, so makes sense there. Are you an Amazon Prime user then? Because you mentioned the delivery truck there.
Yeah, no, we have some. We got the. I was gonna say the sponsorship. No, the subscription. Yes, I am subscribed to the Amazon Prime for sure. Yeah.
So guys, make sure to like and subscribe here as well if you like what you're seeing. If you want to get involved in this chat, which is like this amazing community, which, like I said, very grateful to be here every day. You guys get in that chat. And yeah, subscribe, because you have to be subscribed to be in the chat. Apple, I was really happy with the short. Got involved at 224.70s. We had, as Obi said, a little bit of a pullback on the appled one, the dead one, as Sharif says. And we had these at topping tail candles a couple times here. I saw us fail a few times to get below that 225. The entry point for the short should have been 85s. My risk area was going to be like, obviously, I really wanted to see us stay below like that 225 area, but you guys know I'm always looking for changes in the book. In the book, I saw we could not get above 85s, so it was like 15 pennies risk. I was chill with that. I was down, whatever. So I take my short. I get out 40% of the position. I took a larger size on this around that 50s area, so like 20 pennies on that first part of the position as we broke lower. Then we kind of come back to 60s. Then we get like some kind of like, I don't know if this is like a dark pool wick or what, but we quadruple down there. We get right into the area that I really wanted, that my big white whale area that I didn't really think we'd get, which is 224.30s. Took out the rest of the position there, so about 35 pennies in the money to 30 pennies in the money. Really happy with how this trade went. This is the type of trading I need to be doing more of, just these little scalpy scalps. Spot, oh, SPY. Okay, so the SPY, I said I was like waxing poetic earlier about all that support. Yeah, thank you, Fabian, I appreciate that. That's why I would have to do the sound myself. SPY, I said that 531.50, that was massive support earlier. Yo, SPY, if you want to resist, yeah, SPY, okay. I see you. As Ariana Grande says, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. I don't know if I got it yet, they haven't got filled. But I do like this SPY look here, so let's see if we can get 7 rings for a SPY that, dude, we're better in my head. But yeah, so I can't believe it's already like 12:53. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. in these short markets. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get my SPY fill for this short at all, but I don't want to chase it either because you don't want to go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers you're used to, all that stuff. Okay, market is reversing to the short, says Adrian. Hello. Let's go over here. Let's get going. Yeah, Sharif is just off for today. There's Zion Lala. Do not worry. He is all good. He's all right. He's alive. But we do appreciate the concern. And also, I think it's like some crazy confluence that we get Obi for day one Amazon earnings. Oh, boy. Right? That's what I have to say. So Amazon's coming into that level.
167. I missed a trade on the back through 168. Sorry. I did miss that trade back through that 168 failure to follow through a breakout of that sideways consolidation that we had 168, 167 holds. Now let's see if this 167 holds on the bid while the market comes crashing down into that 18.5 area we were talking about there. Oh boy, we missed a couple points, but that's fine. What's the next trade? We broke that 167 as of right now, but you can see these wicks down here in the 70s. Let's see if we hold some of those 70s, but I definitely missed out on that trade. I like the RR was much better here on the re-break back in, the failure to follow through of the break of that 168 and some change there as well. So we are coming right back into the downside. So, oh boy, here we go. That 21. Where did that size go on that 21? Buddy just got filled. I think some of it, 23,000 shares into the bid at 2101s here on the Intel, getting smashed as that 18 halves come in on the market, and that 67 is coming right back in on the market. Oh my God. Here we go, 18.5 breaking down. Why don't I have this trade? I got to do better. Here comes that anchored VWAP from earnings right here. So you can see we're coming in. So this was the trade that I was looking for here, a pullback into this anchored, and we are breaking right back through that. So VWAP from the day sitting at 164.77s. Can we get there? I missed the trade, but I'm going to root you on there, Amazon, as that trade potentially comes in. 166s coming in. So that break back down gave you a point to the downside almost instantly. I got to be much faster on this stuff, man. Got to be quicker. Got to be faster. Harder, stronger, faster, better. We'll get
better, faster, stronger. That don't kill me. Yeah. Can only make me take it longer. I don't know, I'm trying to make it trade related. I actually had the Amazon 167 short. And I took it with size that I don't normally take.
Well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I did accidentally fat finger. I meant to keep a piece for the dream here with my last exit. But yeah, so basically what happened was got involved with 166.95s. Did not think I'd get filled here because I was like, you know, who knows? But I watched it. Like, we were both looking at this at the same time. I see we break that 167 violently. I said, Darren, this is your chance. Try for 95s. You're not going to get 99s. There's no world in which you're getting 167s, but you might get 166.95s. We got 166.95s. Please, this punch. Got out some here at 80s. Yeah, definitely 15 pennies, could have gotten more. Took a third, but I was like, no, Darren, you have a larger position. Build. Then we broke below 50s, and I meant to take out half of the remaining position. Ended up taking the rest there, like 50 pennies in the money. I'm not going to complain, obviously, but sometimes you do want a little bit more. You don't get a little bit more. Please just punch. And I think it's, a pattern here. My trades today that have been the best have been one-offs on names I've been watching at levels, just taking it hard scalp with more size. That's what happened with Amazon. That's what happened with Apple. So things for me to learn from, that's for sure. And I think, too, I was really motivated. I didn't get my SPY short at 531 because I was too waffly. So I saw that Amazon, and I said, no waffles, only pancakes. Go for, I don't know what that analogy was. Go for that trade. And I went for that trade. We're in Adara's market now. Oh, we're in an Adara market now, says Royce 2 cents. I will not lie. I do like those short the pop opportunities. The short the pop opportunities, they're some of my favorite types of trades. Or when you're already moving down, you get that move lower, you see stuff you like in the book, and you take it lower. Someone in the chat actually was asking me yesterday, if we could ever do a lesson on what I see on the order book, because I talk a lot about what I see. And I was thinking about this last night, because I often think about the markets, just all the time. I like trading. And one thing I was thinking it would be a little bit difficult, I think, to do as a lesson, because a lot of it's just patterns, right? So like I said, a lot of times Tesla this week on different days would have certain cent levels that I'd be interested in. So like the 30 cent level, the 20 cent level, depending on the day. I think if there's certainly I'll try to be better at describing that going forward. But that great move, Kyle Burdett with a 199 super chat addressed to you, but also to answer Aaron Scott Matthews' question. I did in fact say short the opportunities. We got that super chat though for addressed to you from Big Kyle Burdett.
Thank you, Kyle. No, I was just taking some notes in my notebook there. I'm like, okay, Price action scalps, price action trading, I like it. Did I miss a trade? Yes, I'm going to document it. This little trade gives you some nice level to risk right here. You attempt to break that consolidation, that 30, what is this, 30 minutes-ish, or what is it? We started around 11:40, it broke around 12:30, and then so we've been consolidating about a point, give or take, point and a half, for about an hour. We attempt to break the highs, and then you come back in. So you can take, I think you can take the short back down through when it reclaims, risking to this high that's been made, and then you look to take it down through this because we attempted the push. And maybe you can cover some on the 167 bid hold because we know that buyers were there, but then on the re-break through, maybe that's an add as well. That gives you a nice little tight risk to take a quick scalp back in, and then that's easily more than a 2-to-1 there. If you're getting in 168s and some change, you're risking to the highs at 168.70s, 168.60, so you're risking about 60 pennies maybe, 60, 70 pennies for the push back down through 68. It goes a whole point to 67, then it goes another point to 68, so 2 points while you're risking maybe only about just underneath, just over half a point there, and we still have room down to VWAP 64 and change. So if you're holding for that, oh boy, is that a multiple R to R? And I'm like, all right, that was a decent, at least a B scalp for me. Earnings day one again, doing some relative volume consolidation post strong trend up. After breaking trend, we attempt to push back up and back down. But before that, we got a little bit of a reading to do here. So hey there, Canadian traders, are you ready to get back to basics and become a real trader? Real Trading Campus program is on now. Our specialized learning experience is here to guide you through the essentials of trading. You will learn about market microstructure, explore various marketplaces, and understand the different order types. Shout out to the different order types. I like those. This upcoming cohort will focus on U.S. equities, starting with a carefully selected stock list designed for optimal learning. No high flyers here. As you demonstrate your skills, you will unlock expanded symbol availability. Join us to bridge the gap between professional execution and retail trading. Let's build your trading foundation together here at Real Trading Campus program. So make sure you kind of look into that. I like it as well. Again, great opportunity nonetheless to kind of get started, level up your trading journey. Again, that gate access, the access to multiple markets is a beautiful thing that we have here. You can trade a lot of different markets. And again, if you've proven yourself to be able to do said trading, more opportunities definitely open up across the board. And that's a beautiful thing here at Real Trading. Amazon coming right back into that 166 level. So I'm kind of watching, patiently waiting, missed the trade. Where's the next trade? It's fine. Added onto the Intel position as it kind of comes back in and the market breaks back through that 18.5 as of right now. So you know what? It is what it is. Gator Sound and Lightning with the super chat saying, I am over 875% now on KRE puts today. Yay for the market drop. Question is, do you see regionals falling? I don't see anything. I don't know. I don't make those kind of predictions, man. But you know what? Congratulations on your 875%, almost a 10 bag there on that. Yeah, that is absolutely wild. But that is the beautiful thing about options, man. Options giving you that ability to give you that outsized risk to reward, and yeah, some strong trading. KRE. Let's see what KRE is up to. So on those puts, saying that you made a little bit of bank there. So I'm gonna just taking a look at the chart. I'm gonna assume that you were kind of in that trade over the past few days there. As you can see that we have been pulling back, and today's a little bit of a sideways chop, and we've revisited the highs. So intraday, maybe not so much, but yeah, it seems like if you're holding some of those puts for multi-day, you're definitely well in the money there. Over about, what is that, 59s, or just shy of 60s is the highs. We're trading at 53s, 54s as of right now. So about a 6-point drop from those highs. Absolutely beautiful. Collect that premium Gator Sound off of those options. 66 is broke down again on the Amazon. Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy, indeed there. I always feel like I have to say oh boy when trading Amazon, but I didn't get to in that last short, so we'll say it now. Oh boy. But oh boy for Tesla, this is the type of, someone was joking, Royce's 2 cents, this is the Dara kind of market. And I do think one thing I love that I've talked about a lot is these low of day shorts. Are they risky? Sure. But if you see confluence in the book, then why not take them? Right now, we are in this Tesla short here. Took a bit of size with this because what is life without confidence? I don't know. Life is just there. It just exists. I don't like how slowly we're chopping here. We're going to take some out at 85s if we get back there. We're going to take out half the position and I'll let this piece ride. Don't usually like saving pieces for the dream in Tesla, but I have no reason to leave the trade yet. Like I said, I'm going to be seeing if I see anything distinctly different in the book that I dislike. I'll be getting out. I'm trying to clap less. Sorry, guys, but I just get really excited about these markets. Isn't it fun to do something you love every day? Pardon?
Yeah, of course. I said I don't blame you. It's always. Getting loud about the things that you like is obviously a vibe there. What's going on, Sean?
DraftKings.
Yes, DraftKings. Okay, DraftKings, DKNG.
Yeah.
Sean is short 32.80s. It's coming back down 40 pennies to the downside there. Again, nice little continuation fade of prior day, earnings day one today, and we get that continuation off of yesterday's action. Getting a little weak around this pre-market lows there, right there, just shy of that 33 mark.
Yeah, I'll just pull it up on my chart because right now it's just me there.
What's going on?
Sorry, yeah, but yeah, the DraftKings, interesting here around VWAP for sure. Sorry guys, let me take a look here at some of these other names. I don't know why I pulled up AMD, but AMD here at 133. Okay, that's why I pulled up AMD because I saw Trader Forever in the chat. That is why I was like, why did I think AMD? Because it was right in front of my eyeballs. AMD looks like tomorrow's low is going to be tested, or tomorrow's low. Yesterday's low. Someone needs coffee. But yeah, this is an interesting look. I like this 136 kind of chop and turn here at 136. 133 chop and turn here on AMD. And I like also that we had these kind of bottoming tail candles. I think we're trying to form some kind of support here on AM, but we'll wait and find out. Ended up getting it out of Tesla's here at 80s just because it wasn't really breaking down the way I wanted it to. We get into 75s, we come right back up to 209s. I was like, not the vibe. I'm willing to get right back involved though if I need to. Joshua Lee Mallory, quote of the day, I always clap for money. So shout out to you, Joshua Lee Mallory.
The second comment as well.
Bulls are getting clapped. Yeah, bulls are. It is not a great time to be a bull. If you are a Taurus, if you are a bull there, definitely not the vibe indeed. This Intel, I keep forgetting what chart it is, and I'm like, what's this chart that looks so good? Intel is a short. This is great. Shout out to Obi there on that trade. I like this 90 MA rejection, lower highs, lower lows. Nunya Biz shouting out Sean there, apparently getting ready to take profit on DraftKings, but I still got eyes on the SPY. Honestly, I saw a light bulb moment there for Sean Katina. Check out Sean and I in the market recap with a guest that I was saying to Sean is, I think, probably with the three of us together going to be a lot of chaos. It's Raider Trader. So it's Raider Trader, it's myself, and it's Sean. Will there be high energy? You can almost bet on it. So check that out if you want. Probably a lot of screaming and fun antics. I'm actually really excited. I've never had the opportunity to be on with Raider Trader. But the SPY here, I should be looking more at my 131.50s. We get into 131.50s and then we reject. So it's like a Derek girl, what are you doing? You want this level and you're not like being, excited enough about it. Now we're seeing 30s, we're seeing slightly lower high here. I'm gonna try to get involved if we get back here into the 531.30s. That is for darn sure, because we are still making lower highs. I want this trade. I'm not going to get it, but I want it. Worst case scenario, I get 531s and I risk into 30s. Like, that's cool too, right? But you have to be ready for what you want. What is it that you want right now? What are you looking at these markets, Obi?
I am kind of watching this Intel, watching that Amazon. Look at that. That's nice little tight consolidation there on the zone at that 166 mark. So just kind of observing, waiting, and watching there. Across some of the large caps, right? We are pulling back. We hold that 18.5 as of right now. So I'm like, all right, interesting that we're holding that next $100 kind of $100 point kind of area here on the markets on the NASDAQ here. I'm kind of just observing here. People talking about the VIX creeping higher again. Yeah, potentially got to keep eyes on that as well.
Good times.
Yeah, no worries. Just that 166. I'm kind of we say no regrets, so definitely no regrets. But I'm kind of just like you missed a decent probability scalp in terms of my playbook here, and that's just me talking to myself here. There's not many times you get to risk such a tight amount on this on an attempted range break, and then it becomes into a false break. So taking it back down through for a pullback in, and this is that anchored. This is that anchored VWAP we were talking about, anchored VWAP from earnings, and we're holding that to a little bit of a potential pit stop here of price action at this anchored happening as of right now, sitting at 66.24s. But yeah, no real I guess trades for me as of right now that I'm really looking for. But you guys, let me know what are some maybe you know what, I don't have eyes on the whole market, right? I
wish we could. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, like it's just like if you have a whole, you got the whole market on watch, you'd have like 10,000 screens, and you just be like, you have to have a lot of situational awareness for that one. But that's what we have, watch list. That's what we have. I guess not just a watch list, but like watch list and pot list where like things are trading, what's doing the most volume and things like that on the day as well. But let's kind of go back to I guess reviewing some of the gap examples, going back to the lesson of the day right now. And Amazon was the one I'm going to be talking about next. Now, I said I had 4 different examples, so we can talk about the Amazon gap fill down to that 166 level that we were so adamantly pointing out earlier today. I did not mean to do that. And let's bring that back in right here. Okay, so let's go to a higher time frame. So we were talking about gaps this whole week on the How to Trade show. So let's take a look at the Amazon gap that happened in the past and the gap fill that we did today off of earnings reaction. So we gapped into a gap. So some gap fluence happening on Amazon off of earnings day one today. So let's take a quick look at that here. You know what? I will start off with the monthly chart. Let's start off with the higher time frame and then work forward going off of that. So right here, let's pull up this Amazon here. You'll have to excuse me on the little bit of a slowness, but all right, cool. Take that stuff off. All right, cool. So Amazon, can't really see the gaps here on the monthly. It's on the daily. We'll get to that, but you can see a strong little pullback here happening. Prior all-time highs, 188.33 is a little bit of a wick action. We push into that 200. We know that Buddy Bezos, is sitting at that 200 mark with that sell order, and we attempted to push through it a couple of times, but really rejected off of it quite strongly here as we're trading down to the 166s as of right now on Amazon off of earnings. So that's kind of like the bigger picture story that's been going on. Let's go down to the hourly here. Actually, let's go down to the daily. So let's define some of those gaps. So look, we gapped down today, right? But where are we gapping down to? So look at this. This little gap happened at the beginning of the year. So the first gap of the year on Amazon off of their earnings in February were from right here. You can see that day closed right there on, what is that, high, low, close at 159.28. So the next day, we open up at 169s, so just shy of that 170 level. And these lows right here, you can see a little bit of a low there, a little bit of a low here once again, April 25th, happening with a low of 166.30s. Now, you know that we're trading around those levels today. So coming into today, where do we go down to? I had an alert right here. What are these highs? So this is the gap, and the gap fill down at 161.50s. Now, sure, we do violate that high, and we pull back in on the day today, but we talk about gap fills. Where can we find levels of support and resistance? Well, this was a bit of a resistance, bit of a gap. Price is kind of filling into where it did not trade in the opening market hours there. A lot of this action happens in the after hour or the pre-market there. And look at that fill coming in right here with a day low today here at 160.55. So let's see what price action did around that 160. Let's see what that specific high is right now. The specific high is 161.73. That's where I had my alert. This prior high of day is at 159.76 before the gap up. So let's go down to the 15-minute chart on an intraday and see how far we got. We got to 160.55s, but you can see, take a look at that strong selling off of the open there. And we did kind of pull back in. Okay, hold on. We got to take a look at this Intel here with that strong bid coming right back in. As it approaches my average, I do have to kind of keep an eye on this one. 21.16s coming in as of right now on Intel with a little bit of a bid, 18.5 holding as of right now as well. So I do have to be a little wary on that one there as I'm talking about this Amazon push. So look at that, reclaim through that 160. So that 161, sure, give or take a point, and we kind of come right back through. So reversion of that morning flush down, confluence with that gap fill. Strong little push up. That's why I was having so much FOMO for a potential long idea. And I think it was Astra in the chat saying that, yeah, long is a no-brainer. I definitely felt you on that one. Take a look at this reversion over about a 7-point reversion off of that key level off the gap fill. Oh boy, was that a trade. And now we're holding above some of those levels, some of those anchors as well. Let's pull back in some of that charting as you can see right here. So we're holding, reclaiming the VWAP, reclaiming the anchored VWAP. Now we're holding that anchored VWAP as of right now, catching a little bit of a base confluenced with that 18.5 hold on the DAX. So interesting look nonetheless, but that was a nice little gap fill happening on the Intel, and Intel catching a little bit of a bid here with some strength back through 2120s, back through that VWAP. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, that was a little quick cover of how the gap kind of filled today, how the gap traded in and around some of those significant prior levels of support and resistance, levels of interest from the gap opened, or gap close, or gap open, that kind of space in between those gaps. And we saw what it did with that 170. We saw what it did with that 160. 161.70s level as well. 170s already rejecting in the pre-market session there on the Amazon. So great opportunity. Definitely B plus A trades happening here on some of these earnings names, whether it's an intraday scalp to the downside, whether it's a reversion bounce confluence with a gap fill level hold at that 161. Oh boy, that's definitely multiple setup happening on Amazon for that long reversion trade off the morning. I am disappointed, slightly disgusted at myself for not having that trade, but it is what it is. That was a gap review on Amazon.
Thank you so much there for Obi there, express delivering in 2 days or less. That lesson there is so awesome, and we love in the wild examples here on how to trade. So thank you for bringing those examples actually from today, which is awesome. I had this SPY trade going on here that I want to talk about. So basically, I had the short. I don't know if I don't think I discussed. I had two short trades, both profitable, both directions. So I'll talk about both of them, kind of summarize them all up. I was confident. I don't know why we pressed that button, but I love that button. So shout out to, was that you, Fabian? Yes? Yeah, thank you, Fabian, with the confident button. I felt confident, which is why I took both these trades. So first I had this short here. Like I said, I like the lower highs of that 531.50 because 531.50, this level was actually my impetus for both trades. I took the short around, I think, 23s I got in, took out 2/3 of the position at 531s, looking for a break lower. We didn't get a break lower, ended up getting out the rest flat because I was standing up, whatever. Then I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, Adara, higher highs, higher lows, we're bouncing. Look at all these little wicks here at 531. I was like, okay. But I didn't want to go long until I could prove we could hold 531.50. Why? Look at all of this chop return at 531.50. Like, in my opinion, it'd be like, Adara, it would be foolish for you, for how you trade, to not be waiting till 531.50. But we waited to 531.50. We get above 531.50. We retest. We hold 40s. I get long 531.45. I was very nervous in this trade. And usually what I would do is I would scalp out like 2/3 of the position 2 seconds later, but I said, Adara, wait. The only area you really have to be shaking in your boots is going to be around that 532 VWAP area. That's where you start getting nervous. Until you get there, breathe. We did reject 532. I got out at 531.94, so I took 49 pennies and 2/3 of position, held the final third for the dream. The dream did not come, so I got out here at I think it's 531.75, so still took 30 pennies in the remaining third of the position. So I guess that we didn't hold a piece for the dream, but it's all good, baby. So shout out there to Notorious B.I.G. This was not a B.I.G. trade, but it was a pretty juicy trade, I think. Happy I stuck with my levels. Oh my gosh, SPY, you still want to bounce off 531.50? Like, are you going to do this for me? Okay, let's take a look. Darius Golden wants to know what we have to do here, how I feel about ARM. Yeah, that's because I know ARM got a little bit amputated yesterday. That price action, little chop and turn you're sawing at that area there. Let's take a look. Thank you, Bears vs. Bulls, as well. I just saw you saying SPY, nice. Yeah, I know Bears vs. Bulls is a SPY fan for sure. Oh, I have thoughts on ARM, Darius Golden. Right. You don't always have thoughts on ARM, like on every stock that we pull up here. But okay, so this ARM, this bounce here off VWAP, this 112-ish area where the players have been known to dwell occasionally. Great bounce, but look where we reject. We reject here 114.50. Why do we reject at 114.50? I don't know, but I'll give you something interesting. Look at where we had these wick rejections here earlier, right after the open. Look what we had pre-market support. That's right. In and around that 114.50. That is confluence, which is a crazy look here. Then we, kind of come again, try to bounce off VWAP just below that 112. Then we come back lower and look where we are now, finding a bit of a rejection. It's not just VWAP. It's VWAP in confluence, if I may say so myself, with that 112 area of support. To me, this is massive. The ARM is not one I like to trade. The volume on it right now as well is a little bit but I think honestly this support rejection, the fact that we've seen this happen a couple times now in ARM does give you a little bit of a leg up in this trade should you take it. Now my only thing with this ARM is I don't really know where I would risk into if I got involved. This 113 maybe, and I say that because that was a bit of a top there earlier, with a little bit of a shelf action. Then we come sit on that shelf again here earlier as well. So to me that's not necessarily a bad look there for ARM. Shout out to you, Darius Golden. Not advice, just my take on the chart. To me, these levels are, screaming at me. Intel putting the food on the table, says Billy Bob. Yeah, I mean, I know it was putting food at one point at your table. So how, can you give us any more intel on INTC?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of just watching it here. We talk about some of that strength coming in potentially as the DAC holds at 18.5s, and we're coming right back into that VWAP area. We pulled below about 20 pennies below, and we're pushing up above towards some of these prior highs there on the Intel as well. 21.25s trading as of right now. So again, like I said, I am kind of watching it closely to see if there's anything distinctly different happening there on the price action, in the chart, in the flow, on the tape, in the book, and we're just chopping around VWAP as of right now. 18.5 still chopping around there, but you can see we've been only making lower lows on these tops when it comes to the NASDAQ and the ES, and I can see that 166 is getting a little bit weaker as well when it comes to the candles that are being printed on the day today. So that is something I do want to keep in mind here. Okay, so. I'm just reading, Neil's just messaging me. Okay, so, yeah, exactly. I told Neil about that reversion, man. That reversion was absolutely beautiful. And you know what, Neil? It's even better because it broke that 68 high, so sideways consolidation, 1 point. It breaks it, failure to break, gives you a 50 penny risk, and then back into the range, back down through the 67 into earnings anchored at 166s, and now we're getting weaker for a test potentially of VWAP. That's a high probability price action scalp in my book, and I did not take it. I am very disappointed.
I know you're not the only one. I didn't take it either, and I'm very disappointed as well because I took Rivian instead, and I don't have a particularly good reason to have preferred Rivian over Amazon. And Amazon's following through when then Rivian trailed out. It's kind of, I can't really change, but one broke back to the upside of consolidation. The other one is actually giving you a chance to possibly add here. And if you think about, I know we've been talking about these often, when you have a very steep move to the upside, once it breaks that trend, like you have opportunities to look for the short. And whether you liked it off of that trend or the VWAP one, which to me, like it gave you this, which probably didn't work, but then if you drew this trend line, here, if I can do this with one hand live, and let's go there, essentially it did this last fake out, and then look what happens when it broke it. If you give it to like that wick, it was pretty clear, and it just accelerated to the downside. Like once you got back underneath that 168 after the failed break, that's what you needed. It was trying to break this top, and the turn wasn't until it trapped longs above. It's that simple. And the best reversion is where you've actually trapped some people long. So you've trapped longs here and here and here, and then you get that big pullback in there. But I mean, I'll be saying all of this stuff to you anyway. So go down AMD, Intel. Give us another trade in Intel because I feel like that's going to do something big in the afternoon, Obi.
Again, reflecting on the opportunities on the day. Like, sure, in theory, it can be there, but like I have the idea, I have partially the trade as well, and then when it stops me out, like I said, I'm going to work. It's not always going to work the very first time, But if you like the idea, you like the trade and things are setting up, you definitely have to stay involved and get back at it when it does come right back in. And that's my mistake here for not staying involved on a ticker, on a trade that literally gives you a 50 to 60 penny risk, and it gives you over a 2 times measure move down of this kind of range. That kind of actually it's a 1-to-1 right now. So if you're measuring this move here, so we're pulling it back down 1 measured move. But again, if you're taking this risk, the R to R is definitely way above 2-to-1 with almost a 2-point pullback there. Just over, it's actually pushing to over a 2-point pullback. So if we see that 165 level, again, this is that earnings anchored as well, right? So earnings anchored in this area here, and we're kind of chopping, consolidating above that as the market tries to decide where to go, as it's just sideways chop here on top of this 18.5. Don't forget, bigger picture, we have been selling off, getting a little quadunked, getting a little clubed in the head, all pretty much for the past couple of weeks there, all day, every day. Kind of some strong selling sentiment on the bigger picture off of some of those all-time highs. There's a little bit of relief, right? We've been bidding up quite extensively for a good chunk of the year in 2024, and a little bit of a relief, not too bad. But again, a lot of people talking about, is this a top? Is this a bear market? If we're going to pull back, how long are we going to pull back for? What are some of the prior resistance levels that we might find some support on, right? So a lot of questions being asked across the board when it comes to all different kinds of traders. Again, it's always interesting to listen to and hear from the opinions of traders there, and what the sentiment is, and then kind of observe what actually happens going forward as well, right? So fun stuff. I do love trading these markets here, and just got to do better with the executions. Just a little bit better every day, right?
I like that. Yeah, just a skosh, improvement. But yeah, no regrets though. Of course. Also, I want to talk here about Tesla. I had this short at 208. I want to show it to Joseph Horn, and I'm going to actually find a way. So here's what he said. Tesla 209 short roughly lines up with the trend for the whole day of lower highs. I agree. And Tesla didn't even give you 209 if you're trying to short it here. I started looking at it on the books. We were at that 208. 50s area. I said if we break below 208 retest, you get short. You can risk it into 20s because that was a bit of an area there in the book. I got short 208s. I took out part at 70s because I knew we were really, really finding support at 70s. Then I ended up getting the rest out around 77s. Why did I get the rest out there? Tesla 207 70s is a bizarre level. I'm telling you, I was there you have to wait. If it breaks down, it's going to be a really nice breakdown. I was yeah, Derek, if it breaks down. And after I got out of the trade, because I was Derek, you're going to regret, you're going to be kicking yourself aggressively there if you end up, you're going to run yourself over the Cybertruck or you're going to get run over if you don't get out at 207 70s, because it's not like I didn't see it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it can be in retrospect, how did I not see this? I saw that we were holding crazily at 70s. I still think if we break below 70s decisively, we'll break. But then I watched after I got out, we did actually break below 70s, and we came right back up to 208. So I was happy with what I did here. To me right now, the move on Tesla is a bizarre 30-cent scalp that I'm not comfortable trading, because we are seeing slightly higher highs in the book and slightly lower highs, but we're still I still think if we break below 70s, I want none of that smoke unless I'm short. But again, I don't really have confidence to go short. I don't really know what the balance of the evidence for this is, so I cannot give a Sam Waterston-style verdict quite yet. So, Trader TV Live, 1:27 p.m. Friday. But yeah, so anyways, I love a lot order. But yeah, so right now, still looking at this Tesla. Like I said, if I see a nice, clear, again, rejection of 208, and I think we can break below 208 70s, do I want the 208 70s short? I'd be lying if I told you guys I didn't. Oh my God, I think that's going to be delicious. But just because I think it's going to happen doesn't mean it's going to manifest. That's what, what Opie was just saying there too with Amazon. You can have plans and they can go awry, and you just have to really be aware here. That being said, again, Tesla tries to break above 208 and does not give a hoot. But now we're trying to get that 207.70 break to Tesla. I'm not going to FOMO into you. If you give me the breakdown, if I have reasons to get involved, sorry for aggressively jazz handing over here. But I think this Tesla break is going to be spicy. I'm not a part of it, but shout out to anybody who is short this name. Shout out to you, Joseph Horn. Shout out to Sean as well with the Dollar Club.
Yes, I trade that for Logan.
Nice, the DraftKings. That's nice. Let's go.
Sean being the king of the draft there, yeah.
Let's see what DraftKings is up to right now. Let me pull that up. DKNG. Oh boy, look at that. Nice little pullback. Trend continuation. We were talking about that yesterday and today. Day one earnings pulling back down off of VWAP. And again, I'm curious to know, what is that? Where's this anchored looking? or how is this anchored looking as of right now? It definitely looks like we are trading well below that. Okay, so that anchored VWAP is well above intraday anchored, so I like that as well. You can see, look at that price action, nice little consolidation, attempts to break through that anchored in and around some of those. Again, lots of confluence here, pre-market lows, and then a pushback into that area, opening range lows as well, so double confluence, triple confluence, and then right underneath that 33, failure to follow through, some interesting candles as well. If you like using some of that candle action, that's multiple layers of confluence and then back through, and then a little bit of a stacked there. Look at that reversion of that trend as well. So beautiful, beautiful reason to sell for that DraftKings trade. Shout out to Sean for that trade. Nice trade, Sean. All right, so I'm kind of continuing to watch this Intel. Intel is just hovering in and around this VWAP as of right now. Again, the market is still holding in and around that 18.5. So gonna keep that on watch to make further decisions. We've been choppy, we've been making lower highs, and here it comes in, breaking for some potential fresh lows. And there's that red coming in across the board. I'm seeing some red on the Amazon tape. I saw a flush of red coming in on the Intel. So as the futures go for that low day test, seems like somebody's really smashing into the bid when it comes to that Intel, and maybe across the board as well. Maybe we do get to see that 165, that reversion. Oh boy, I'm definitely going to be a little potentially in my feels about missing that one. That is a little bit of a high probability scalp for me, but that's fine. Where's the next trade? This market is abundant in opportunity, and as of late, and you just gotta respect. The thing is, you gotta respect your rules, gotta respect your playbook, gotta be disciplined, gotta show up, and really kind of exercise your abilities in this kind of market is what I'm finding. And again, it's an unforgiving market. It's very competitive, but because it's competitive, there are opportunities galore for other players to be offside, and that is how good trades, I think, are partially how good trades are made. Again, Neil mentioning how trapping more players for the trade to come back in makes the trade even better. The more players getting trapped, I like that for the offside. Again, trading PvP game, in my opinion. And PvP definitely going on here with some of these consolidation breaks and trapping longs and shorts both ways. The longs are definitely getting a little slap there, as somebody in the chat earlier mentioned. Slapping of the longs has been happening for the past couple of weeks, Adara.
Yeah, make sure you slap that like and subscribe button as well if you like what you are seeing here. Also, yeah, that's the thing you have to remember. I appreciate what you just said there, is because what you have to remember is Mother Market, like, you're not her only child. She's got a lot of kids, okay? And sometimes you'll be her favorite. Sometimes, like, you know, your sibling will be your favorite. Sometimes she's kind of like annoyed at you, and sometimes you're annoyed at her, and then you know, like, you lash out at her and you regret it later. So my bizarre analogy aside, I really like, because it really is important to remember you're playing in a market with a whole bunch of people, and I think that's where the psychological aspect comes in, which I know you've talked to me about so in the past. So I think that's really interesting look there. And yeah, I just wanted to shout out that. Also, Tesla did give you the 207.70 short. I know I said, I was like, I don't really want to take this because it'll be chasey. Oh yeah, that's just the restraining order that Sharif received for Trenda.
Okay.
But yeah, but anyway, so Tesla did break that 207.70 and retested. I took a smaller position because I didn't want to. And again, this goes back to like what you were saying there about Amazon. If sometimes things don't work the first time, you might want to retry it with less size. That's what I did here. Took smaller size on this Tesla trade. Took like 20 pennies on it. We get to 207.50. We can't really break. I get out. Happy I tried it though, because I would have regretted not trying it. And you don't want to have any regrets. In this market.
No regret laws.
Pardon?
No regret laws?
No, I like that. No regret laws. Yeah, you don't want to regress law into a place where you have regret law. Pardon?
What?
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
We do. We don't. Yeah. So there you go. You might regret not liking and subscribing this video. Shout out to Neil there in the blue and the glasses. So there we go. There's Tesla. I know someone was saying Nvidia 106 short. So that person is printing up a storm. Wow, Nvidia. I tried to take that 107 short. Didn't get filled, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Now Nvidia's Nvidia's below. Sorry, I got really aggressive there.
Nvidia right now 105.
Beauty.
I was just going to say, if we get back to that 105, I want to short that. Shout out to Sean there with that 105 short. Oh my gosh, Nvidia, if you want to get to like 104.95s, oh my gosh, okay. I actually really like this look here for Nvidia. I don't think I'm going to get filled. We're going to go 95s, and we're going to do it like this. There we go. Let's see if we can get that short there in N to the V to the D today. I'd be looking to take some profit if we get to 104s. That's a bit ambitious. But why I like 104s is because look at that pre-market. I was talking about 104s earlier, and I also have them written down in my little tickers to look at document. Where did it? Yes, I do. Oh, I have 103s written. Okay, never mind, Adara. That's awkward. I just, that's not the level I had written. But I still like that 104, and I like that it also is coming into confluence with that VWAP projection. I have enough where I can take a piece out, so if I see any kind of pausing in the book, I might take out a piece there, but I love that 104 area because look where we had that previous bounce. It also kind of comes into confluence with that area. We had a little bit of support earlier. Happy I hopped into this trade. I want to shout out Sean there for that trade as well. I'm seeing a bit of a bounce here, so we're going to take out part of this position, about half the position, 70, so took 25 pennies in the money for the first half of the position. Let's see if I can get my 104s. You guys know what I'm like, though. Like I said, when I don't scalp, I get really queasy. If I see anything I don't like in the book, I owe it to myself to get out there. I would like to see us come back to that 105s. If we can come back to 105s and reject, I have no qualms. But you always have some qualms, but I'll be relatively qualmless about staying in Nvidia because I had that confidence, I had that confidera, and as Darwin said in the chat that I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, Nvidia still rejecting 104.80s. I don't want to add here necessarily. I would like to see it get a little bit lower because it also looks like we're trying to bounce a little bit here. And to be fair, this area at which we're bouncing was also A, previous VWAP, and B, a little bit of this area, it was that's called resistance. It was a bit of resistance earlier, so let's keep an eye on this there. Yeah, sorry guys, I know I do speak a little bit quickly, but man, when these markets move, you got to keep up with them. So you got to be, the market moves a mile a minute, I guess, so do I when I talk. Nvidia, you want to reject 105 again? I'll stay in. If not, I have no qualms leaving this flat because I had a good time, took some profit out. Got to trust what you see on this here order book. Yeah, Nvidia kind of popping back above VWAP, so just got to have eyes on that as of right now. I also love the confluence of 21s. I just realized in your Intel position, 21 doing something for you here.
Yeah,
Intel, I guess.
21 potentially doing something.
I just noticed.
Yeah, no, that... when you said talk speed, I immediately thought about tape speed, and I'm like, that tape is definitely talking to me real fast as well.
Right? You have to catch
as
up,
it kind of comes back into 21, 22s there. So kind of keeping that on watch. Intel potentially catching a little bit of a bid here, some strength right back in, and then pulls back in. But you got to note that 18 halves on the DAC have broken, and we're trading at 165 halves on Amazon. So that trade is coming in, following through down into VWAP. VWAP is 164.70s, I think, if I remember correctly. So let's take a quick look at that one. 164.80s now with the new kind of price action on the board there for the zone right here. So boom. So definitely some I guess shake and bake, right? Say shake and bake. You kind of revisit the range. 168 highs. 161 lows, 168 highs, coming right back in to VWAP as of right now is the Amazon. So a little bit of a tussle in the jungle happening both ways off of some significant areas there. So it is what it is. Where's the next trade? I have no idea. The VIX is bouncing. The VIX is actually bouncing off of an interesting area here, excuse me, on the day. 25 bounce on the VIX. As of right now, 24.98 is that prior low, and we're bouncing right back up, 26.7. So yeah, I did have that line on the chart just at that 25 mark, and beautifully enough, the VIX has bounced off of that as of right now, still holding above those 20s. The reversion potentially, again, whenever the VIX gets high, I like that look. We talk about this all the time. Price action, sure, the reversions are there every now and then. But something that has a much higher probability of reversion is almost always volatility. Take a look at that monthly chart, that weekly chart on the VIX. You can see the reversion that happens every time the volatility does get spicy. So again, reversion, a little bit of almost a property of volatility, yeah, high probability as well. So keeping eyes on the VIX on days like today, just Intel chopping sideways. This is, again, level-to-level trade now. We're going to let it kind of do its thing, 21, over the rest of the day as it chops literally in and around 21. So that continuation might take a little bit longer there, but the fact that we are consolidating lower, underneath, in and around VWAP. VWAP sellers have been there. Now we're kind of holding that 21 level. I do have it on watch. We've observed some some volume churning in and around some of these levels. Now, again, like I said, it might not be the first try, might not be the second try for the trade, but if the trade is there, I definitely want to stay involved with that one. That is something I do have to get better with here. Let's see what the chat is up to. What are you guys looking at? Rubilio, Arcubilio saying, I want Tesla 200. Yeah, I don't know where Tesla is right now. Let's take a quick look at Tesla, TSLA. Tesla 200, yeah, okay, oh boy, all right. Yeah, that 200 potentially coming in. Look at that, lower highs, lower lows. Strong rejection off VWAP, extending off of VWAP, only about 6.70 pennies is what I'm trying to say, off of that 200 mark on Tesla, well within range, well within the ATR that it's capable of doing, and it is probably doing a little bit of RVOL. No, it's doing about 1 times RVOL today. Nothing too crazy there, but a bit of a continuation off of some of this prior stuff that's been going on. The pullback off of that 270 area on the Tesla coming in real hot. Let's see if we do get that retest of that 200 mark there. So yeah, well within the stars. Is it going to do it? I have no idea. I'd have zero predictive abilities when it comes to that. But in the moment, price action sometimes does speak to you, and you're like, oh, well, with the limited information and knowledge and experience, limited being the extreme keyword here, you can sometimes you're able to see the price action being like, okay, well, with the way we've been building up, with the way that size is being dealt with, in that moment, maybe the percent probability of continuation is 60 to 90%, and maybe you make a decision off of that. That is what I like to trade off of. That's kind of, I would say, my strength at times. But again, a lot of weaknesses that we have to work on as well. Tape reading can't be the end-all, be-all. Here comes that 165. 165 halves broken down. Let's see if we can get that VWAP. That next level of VWAP is where I'm going to be watching that Amazon today. Earnings day one, absolutely beautiful action here. Are you guys trading earnings day one? That's the question I'm asking right now. If so, what are you trading on earnings day one? There's quite a few names. And have you guys traded any earnings names in the past week or so? We are in the midst of earnings season. A lot of opportunities to go across the board. 165's coming in there, Sean. Oh boy, did I miss that one?
Yeah, it's a bit of an oh boy type of day, but I do want to shout out as well Sean with a different earnings play, which is DraftKings there. So he's a little king there with his little crown. Hi Sean, how are you doing? Sean has a matcha frappuccino. I want to go to Starbucks now, so nice. Also, you know what's bizarre? I was talking about Tesla and that weird 20. What was this level? This was like 207.70s, which clearly broke now. We're at like 206.30s. But Nvidia doing the same thing at 104.80s. I love reading the book, and this is, again, like I said, I don't know if we'll ever have time to do a formal book reading lesson, or not lesson, but just my experience. But I'll say now, what you notice is patterns. That's my biggest thing. And I know you read tape a lot, so it's slightly different. I usually read more the order book. But what you'll basically see is we'll see, for whatever reason, there will be things holding. We'll have a movement, and then we'll get to an area and we'll stagnate like crazy. So in this case with Nvidia, we had that 105 breakdown. I took the short, got like 25 pennies over half the position. Then we come back, and I notice on our way back, we're having a bit of a wiffle waffle with 104.80. So I take note of that. I fell that away, whatever. Then we come back to 105s, and we reject 105s to say, cool, Adara, stay in the position, blah, blah, blah. Then this is where things get spicy, right? We have that move up, and then we cannot get below 104.80. We can't. We'll get to 104.80, we'll bounce up to 95s, back to 104.80, bounce, back to 104.80, bounce. So I see that in the book, I see this for a while, and I say, okay, Adara, if you want to add to the position, you can't add till we get below 104.80. Why? Because if I add when we're above 104.80, I'm adding that support, which is kind of an odd look if I'm trying to do a short. You know, it's not called a sub short, it's called, I don't know. Whatever, I didn't say that. But then, well, I did, but whatever. And then we break below 104.80. That's where I add to the short at 104.79s. Average position at 104.87s, right? I'm like, okay, cool. If we can decisively stay below 104.80, I'm all good. I can chill in this trade, right? We get back above 104.80. We keep holding the support. I say, Adara, you're going to have like, you're just going to regret it. You're seeing stuff you don't like in the book. Get out here. Took like, I want to say 4 pennies on the average position. Was it the trade of anyone's life? No. But for me, that was risk management. And that's what I talk about when I see stuff on the book. I like using it as my impetus for entries, exits. And if you see anything change in the book, if you see anything, as Obi says, distinctly different, that's where you have to leave. And so that was why I was kicking myself that day. I got shut down, which I literally got shut down in front of everyone here on a SPY short. It was a huge experience for me. And I think why it was really humbling. And I said, that's why I went to my jazz piano style of trading because I was so anchored to my ideas. I was like, I have my level. I have to wait till we get in that level. But it's like Adara, the book is showing you support resistance flip. You have to get ready for different opportunities. So if you don't trust what you see, who are you trusting? If you don't believe in yourself, what are you believing in? So that's why I got involved there. Also, Freddie the Friendly Guy saying, I'm working here and listening to you is like the greatest show on earth. Yeah, happy you get to listen to all of us every day because we have so much fun here in these here markets. I think things could break lower. Like, to be clear, I'm not saying 105.80 is the be-all end-all for Nvidia. We did crack a little bit lower, but I'm saying for the purposes of my trade, for the way that I scalp, I had to get out there. So interesting look there. Wow, SPY, do you want to have a green candle? SPY's like, no. For my birthday, I will just be having all these red candles here to the straight downside. Let's see what we do here at 530. 530, whole dollar level. Could we bounce? This 530 breakout was interesting and I missed it entirely. But if we bounce here at 530s, that could be a good look. I know I like talking about taking shorts at these whole dollar breakdowns on the SPY, but that's generally if we have more of a downtrend. These topping tail candles make me a skosh nervous. I should have had better eyes there on the SPY. Had some trades I was happy with around that 530-150, but let's see what we do in that SPY bounce. But let's also thank here Mark the Realtor, 305 to my city. Shout out to Drake there. Very old Drake song. 199 super chat. SPG has been strong the past 2 days. 170 break coming. That is Simon Property Group, I believe. No, this is a name that Sean is or was involved in at some point. So shout out there to Simon Property Group. Let's see what the properties are of this stock right now. So you said 170 break coming. Talking about the last 2 days, I'm going to take a look at the daily chart for you. Yeah, this one's pretty lightly traded intraday. So daily, I would say, makes sense. Let's take Tammy KB saying, LOL, OB had a heart attack. At least when I had that chair pushed back there. Get a little bit excited. I apologize. But
yeah, no.
Yeah, higher lows here for sure on this chart. Oh, let's push back here. 170 break coming. I don't know. 170 might be a bit of a stretch from where we currently are in SPG. But I'd be curious to see what we do here as we get into those for me, like the fact that we have all these kind of wicks up here that we're failing, I think 150, if we can break close above 154, that'd be good. I see 154 as a skosh of resistance. And then we can, if we get to 158 and break above that, that was clear resistance. So that's my look on that. But yeah, sorry guys, I really do love these markets. And I'm so happy you guys got to be here with all of us. SPY holding 530, that's a nice look. But what are you looking at?
No, I definitely agree with you. You were talking about like doing the tape reading and looking for patterns. That's how I like to look at it as well. People think it's about the numbers. People think it's about the size that's going through. Sure, yeah, sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta read the rainbow. You just gotta taste the rainbow. You gotta feel the rainbow, be the rainbow sauce. Just don't get lost in it. But yeah, no, I like that look. A lot of pattern recognition, definitely, and those tape stalls can be significant information, right? And I like using that information to kind of build that story, build that picture of what price action has been doing on the day, and then that's how we can get our price action scalps, right? To kind of figure out, all right, longs are winning, shorts were winning. How can I kind of capitalize on people being offside, people being, on the wrong side of price action there to take that scalp off of, and maybe that scalp, it's not just a scalp, maybe it's a level-to-level move, maybe it's a bigger picture move there. But yeah, tape reading definitely a very, very important ability that again I'm still working on. I'm still I guess a noob when it comes to tape reading and the nuances of a said tape reading, but again, we get a little bit better every day. The seat time is what matters, right? I think that somebody once told me that nobody can teach you how to read tape. You have to put in the time yourself to really kind of understand and get the flow, literally the flow of into the flow of how some price action kind of tends to act, and that changes over time as well, right? So it's like things kind of behave certain ways for a little bit, and then they start behaving differently. So adaptability is another kind of part of that equation that I do strongly feel about. But no, I like that you said about I liked what you said about the pattern recognition and the tape reading. Definitely worth I guess getting better at and really building that skill over time when it comes to trading. And if you really want trading to be I guess a lifelong thing, that's just my opinion on that. Again, I am more of I lean more towards the tape reading and the book and the charts, more towards technical analysis than the fundamentals. But again, I also understand when the fundamentals are outlier fundamentals and there are situational changes, the sentiment can definitely be shown on the tape and the book and the charts, and that's what we have to learn to respect over time, right? But yeah, a little bit of a tangent on that. 18.5 is breaking back below. Intel still chopping around this VWAP area. We had a little bit of strength. We're making relatively higher highs, but also higher lows, but lower highs as well. Chopping around VWAP, right? 165, Sean, on that Amazon. Oh boy, here we go. 164.70s is that VWAP area. Can we kind of come into that level and break down? What is VWAP going to do? That's my question, right? We've seen how VWAP was acting in the morning, how it acted here. So the story that was being kind of told was VWAP heavy, 161 level hold, gap level hold, reclaim a VWAP. VWAP sellers no longer there. VWAP bidders now holding up. So VWAP sellers offside, pushing back in. High-a-day players that got in right off of the open and risking off of the open, they get chopped around a little bit, break back down. What are players at VWAP going to be doing now? That's the next question that I'm going to be asking. So that's kind of the story that's been built up in a very rudimentary and rough sense for me to put it on the ZON on earnings day one today. So I'm curious to know what that VWAP holds. But literally, if that VWAP holds at that 164.70. But again, it doesn't even have to get to VWAP. It's holding 165 right now. So if the bidders are actually strong and the bid is competitive on top of VWAP, only about 30 pennies away, sometimes it won't even get to VWAP. Sometimes you'll see a level hold above VWAP, and that could be an even stronger sign, kind of picking up on that nuance that like we couldn't even get all the way back down on a strong reversion that we're doing off of an hour-long bid that we had. So is that bid kind of stepping back up? That same question I always ask. If the bid is real and we do a little bit of a pullback, where will it catch? Fishing is something that I like.
Yeah, reeling it in there.
Yeah.
Shout out to you there. Stan O saying, bro, is a TA expert. Yeah, I think shout out to you for that read. Also, thank you to Mark, the Realtor 305. I apologize. I read your previous super chat incorrectly. Thank you for the new super chat. No, Procter & Gamble, PG. Yeah, sorry, I saw the dollar sign. And like I said, my eyes are not there today. I really do apologize for that. But I have lots of thoughts on your PG chart. And thank you again for the two super chats there. Look at this massive rejection here at 160.50s. We wick here a couple times. We fail it. We quote it like crazy. But then we fall and we have nice little support here around this 155. We come up, guess where we reject again? That 162.50. But now we bounce at a higher low and also around previous support resistance here around this 160. Come up, look where we bounce yet again. That's right. 162.50. Then we bounce again 162.50. We fall here initially after earnings, but then we come to bounce at that other previous level here, that 160-ish area that we had some support resistance earlier before pushing higher. So basically all of this is to say, I think there's a lot of clear resistance and support levels in the chart, and I think right now even PG after that earnings slip has held it beautifully. 170, it looks like we wicked into 170 today, couldn't hold it. I think 170 right now is the elusive dream. I think if we hold nicely this 170 with these wicks, I do agree with you, that would be a great level. If not, areas that I'd be watching for support would be, can we hold and close above this 168.30s? Right now we're poised to do that. If not, the other dip below that is going to be that 167. Lots of chop and churn and shelf action here on the daily chart. Thank you so much there to... Thank you to Mark, the Realtor 305, for that super chat. And again, I apologize for reading it incorrectly initially. Tesla, Omega Tesla, do you want to range? Tesla here, we've got T to the S, the L to the A, this tight little micro range, specifically in the 1 minute chart, you see it more. I see higher lows here in Tesla, but I also see some resistance here around 207s. If we could bounce, though, off this 206, 65 area, a couple wicks here, I think that would be a really nice look for the Cybertruck one or for the Tesla one, to use some Sharifisms there. But yeah, we had quite the bear flake here around that 207, chip chop, break down. We're recovering really nicely though, higher highs, higher lows. I do like this look, but that reminds me too, another name that I thought was, going to break lower and ended up pushing higher before it's dropped. Oh my gosh, Apple falling into support here on the 1 minute was Apple. So Apple, shout out to Obi. I was saying to Obi, you know, when Neil was doing his lesson, I was like, oh, I kind of am interested in shorting Apple. It would have been around here, I think. And Obi was like, yeah, but like there's higher lows. And I was like, yeah, the VWAP. Happy to end up shorting Apple there. I did have an Apple short here coming in a little bit later, and then a failed Apple short again at this 224. But this Apple, wow, there is some support here at 223.50s, and it also comes into confluence with that previous resistance level of 223.50. So this is a really interesting look here. What are you guys looking at as we get into the last, like, I can't believe 7 minutes left of this stream. I'm going to look at the EWIM because I saw someone mention the EWIM in the chat, and IWM I know took quite the hit earlier. As we get that ready, any plans for your weekend there, Obi, as we head into a pretty exciting Friday?
Yeah, no, nothing too crazy there.
Nice.
I think I have family over from Chicago right now this week. Some potential wedding season kind of going on there. I'm not really invited to any of that stuff, but no, my sister's friends, a little bit of a back-to-back wedding season happening as of right now. So a little busy with the fam jams over the weekend, but nothing too crazy. Going to be doing some R&R. Probably going to be doing a little bit of a monthly review. We know that July just ended, so I'm going to be doing a monthly review, kind of reviewing how the July month went. Got to do a little bit better, is what I know already off the top. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sleeping this weekend. I think I need that, preferably not on my kitchen floor. So yeah, we'll see how that goes there. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend. I think August is setting up to be a great month here, but also keep an eye here on this IWM. I miss EWM here, but I think this looks interesting because look where we had this VWAP area, right? We had VWAP here around 208.80. That was clearly some support earlier, a couple wicks down, then we pop higher, then we come back blue, and then we get to that 208.80 area again. It forms this VWAP. We support, bounce, then we bounce again off 208.80s. Now we have this breakdown. I think this is a nice look. I'd love to see what we do as we get into that 208 area because there was a little bit of chop and churn around that area earlier. But yeah, so great look there for this here market. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Definitely feel free to hit the like and the subscribe if you were enjoying the experience. Tesla. We're going to switch to the... Oh, my gosh, Tesla, do you want me to take like an end-of-day scalp? Before I say when I'm looking at a Tesla, because I'm looking at Tesla. I had this failed short on the SPY I want to talk about. Tried to take the short, SPY short 530s. I wasn't as confident in it. Like, I waited for my rejection. I had everything I needed to see. Took a smaller position. We couldn't break below 529.90s. Well, I was in it. We get above 530.10s. I get out. So lost like 10 cents there. That was the look there on that S&P 500. But Tesla coming, I'm gonna show it in the 1 minute because that was my side chart and that's what made me interested. I saw in the book on Tesla when we got to that 207s, we rejected pretty harshly. But look as well what we're doing here in Tesla. That 207.70s, or 206.70s, if we break down, that is again where we had that previous support, resistance in confluence now with attempts to make support on VWAP. I think this is a really interesting look. Let's see what we do here though on T to the S, the L to the A as we get kind of spicy around 70s. Other than Intel, Amazon, are there any other trades you're looking at into the rest of the day here, Obi?
I don't know. Nothing really has set up, but something I've been realizing as of late is that some of the best trades that kind of happen are ones that literally fall into your lap. So I'm going to be waiting and just observing to see if anything else kind of falls into my lap for the rest of the day there. I'm still in this Intel short here. May not work, may work. I have no idea, but bigger picture is kind of what I'm going off of there. Already had that trade off of the open there. Can definitely be doing a little bit better on that, but a little bit of sideways consolidation as of right now, looking for potential continuation. But again, the DAC is still chopping in and around that 18.5 mark. Sure, 50 points above, 50 points below, but chop nonetheless. Yeah, you were saying chip chop. Definitely, chips are definitely chopping today with the chip chop there. And we're getting a little bit of a drip drop as well.
I was going to say chip drop, drip drop, yeah.
Drip drop as well to the downside as of right now. But yeah, no, it's been a great midday session with y'all here. Today, a little bit of a gap examples. Again, I want to reiterate some of the examples that we talked about. Just when things are gapping around, looking back at the chart for significant levels, significant prices, interesting price action that may have taken place in and around where we've gapped down to, and seeing and observing the tape and the chart in and around some of those similar areas to see if you can make potential decisions or have a read on that is what I was going for there. That's kind of how I like to take a look at gaps. Now, I know that's pretty general, but again, it is pretty general for the most part there. You have all different sorts of gaps, all different sorts of price action that happens prior and support and resistance at the end of the day. I think is one of my top indicators, but the best one is definitely volume. So support and resistance confluence with volume is definitely much stronger for me, in my opinion. But again, that's kind of what we covered today. Just a couple examples. I think covered Intel, covered Amazon, Meta as well. There's a lot of things that have been gapping up and down into prior resistance, into prior supports, breaking multi-year lows, multi-year highs. A lot of lows have been broken as well. What was it? I think AAPL, if I remember correctly, there was a similar trade on that. Intel, similar idea. I'm forgetting the last one. I think it might have been AL is the last one that comes to mind for me. But yeah, no, a lot of gaps happening, a lot of opportunities in and around those gaps. Asta saying Nvidia is strong, Amazon breakout still watching. Yeah, that 165 holding as of right now. So definitely going to keep that on watch going forward on the day. Missed a couple trades. That's perfectly fine. I will be waiting for that next trade. Where's the next trade? I'm waiting for it to fall into my Lapidera. So I have no idea as of right now, but it could not come. It could also come. I have no idea. That's the thing. I'm just trying to be flexible. Being like water is what I like to kind of focus on.
Yeah, viscous, liquid like this market with the liquidity. You know, you want to have that kind of airy, flowy sense. We are almost done here, guys. We have 30 seconds left. Thank you to Bears vs. Bulls for shouting out Adobe long ADBE as I started in the chat. We're going to end with that as well. Took a quick hit there on Tesla. Like I said, one of my 206.70 short got short when we broke down below 70s. We couldn't really break below in a decisive way. Got out 80s. So took about 10 cents as a loss there. But I'm really happy with the development this week. Actually, believe I'm up on the week despite getting shut down on Wednesday. So progress is being made. You got to keep making that progress. And I hope you guys are having a great time with us as we progress into the afternoon show. Thanks again to Obi for being here with us today. Hope you guys all had a great time. But now we're going to find out what's going on with La Big Kahunas at that desk. See you guys on Monday. Yes. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace out.
Take it easy.
Right to us. What big desk? I feel like this is just, it's a trading desk. Big desk. Yes. The big desk is up there because it's literally twice as big. But to each their own. What's crazy about it is it's funny. Like there's so many